WDUM, the dumbest station in town.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the WDUM. My name is Buddy, and I am your host. I'm joined today by Sam Walker, my co-host. What's going on, man?
Buddy, great to be here. How's it going?
Not too bad, Sam. We're here today to take a look back at the past. Sam and I have compiled some of our favorite moments from the interviews we've done here on the WDUM. One of my favorite things about what we do here, Sam, and I think you'd agree with me, is that we draw no lines as to who can come on our show and tell us about themselves. Doesn't matter what your job is or isn't, you can come on and tell us your story.
And when you say anyone, you really mean anyone. I mean, we've had a healthy variety of folks on our show, to say the least. Taxidermists,
punk rockers, vegan chefs,
refugees,
Nigerian refugees, and many more to come.
Future presidents.
If you've got a job or you don't have a job and you just want to call and tell us some stories from your life, call in to the WDUM line, leave us a voicemail. That number's in the show notes. But on today's show, we're going to take a look back. We're really proud of these interviews. One of the interviews I'm most proud of is our first interview we did on the show, and that is with Bomber of Vague Perceptions. This guy has actually become a big part of the WDUM family. Bomber is the singer of the band Vague Perception. He's a great guy. He's been on the show about 4 or 5 times now. Vague Perception has performed live on our anniversary show. So they're part and parcel of the WDUM. They're really a part of the show. I've seen Vague Perception live. I went with Ralphie of Ralphie and the Badger Milk. He was scouting them for his label. He didn't end up signing them, but we had a great time seeing the band. And Sam, I don't know what you remember from our first time talking to Bomber on episode 41, but do you have any memories of Bomber from our first time speaking with him?
It's been so long ago, it's kind of been a blur since then. Like a fever dream blur. I think I remember him. Oh, no, you know what I remember? I remember him doing an acoustic performance of Crack Open Your Bush.
That's right. He sang Crack Open Your Bush. Bomber's a great guy. He's got a lot of stories. He's been in bands for a long time. So let's throw that first interview we did with Bomber. It's got all the WDUM moments you could want in an interview. Percy calls in, Waylon calls in, and Sam, this is the first and last appearance of the caller, Mr. Mitsubishi, on the show. He went missing shortly after this. All right, Sam, you ready to throw this segment?
Sure.
All right, Scooter, let's play the interview with Bomber of Vague Perception.
Hello.
Hey, is this Bomber?
It certainly is. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, Bomber? Welcome to WDUM. How you doing today?
All right. How you doing, my friend?
Not too bad. So, Bomber, you are the singer of Vague Perception?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us a little bit about that band?
Okay. Well, Vague Perception is a band that was started back in 1984 by Brian Rockgut Louise. I'm the new guy. I only been around since 1992.
Okay.
So the band was only 8 years old when I came.
Only 1992.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I only been around for it. So the band will be 38 in next year.
No kidding.
I've been involved for 30 years.
Okay. Wow.
Our current guitar player, he was the original bass player in the band. The guy that started the band, Brian Rockgut Louise, he passed away in July of 2019. Prior to me joining the band, Brian was the main creative force in the band. I mean, even when I joined the band, he was still the main creative force. But I mean, as time went on, I became more and more involved in the songwriting process. And now, of course, he's no longer with us. So I am the main creative force, lyric wise, and not to disparage any of my bandmates, because they're all great guys. I love them. So besides Roger, who is the current guitar player, who was the original bass player, our drummer is a guy, Bill Stalin. He's been the drummer for 36 years. And our new bass player is a guy named Adam, who he actually wasn't even born yet when I joined the band. So he's been our new bass player since October. And it's nice to have somebody as young as he is come in and give us a fresh, a different and fresh approach to things. And of course, the most important thing is I dig him as a bass player.
I like that you said molding into the modern things. That kind of leads me into how I came across Bomber. It was an article or a post on Craigslist. You were looking for some band members.
Yes. So I am the current lead singer for Vague Perception, but I also am trying to form another band only because I have some stuff that I'd like to do and not be held in the confines, quote unquote confines of what Vague Perception is expected to be. Not that we can't do whatever we want to, of course we can, but I mean, Vague Perception mainly, it is what it is. At heart, we're just a good old punk band. But what I tell people, no one wants to be pigeoned as just a punk band. Well, not nobody, but you know what I mean. People tend to look down when you say you're a punk band, or if you tell somebody you're a metal band. Not that I give a rat's ass. Yeah, so Vague Perception, how I have always described Vague Perception is we're too metal to be punk, and we are too punk to be metal. To simply describe it as a kick-ass American punk rock and roll band, and take from that what you will. So the reason why I was looking to be in another band besides Vague Perception is I would like to do something. I would like to have maybe some horns and stuff, a band with some keyboards, and just be able to do whatever I want without people saying, without alienating our longtime fan. You don't want to alienate our longtime fan, that's for sure.
No, absolutely not. Those are the ones that stick with you for the long haul. But you also have to do what you want to do. I hear that too. Bomber, we actually have our first caller. You ready for a call?
Certainly.
All right. Scooter, patch line 2. Hello, you're on WDUM?
Oh, hey, yes. Terrific. Yes, I just had a question.
Yeah, what's going on? You're on with Bomber.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to ask, from the videos I've seen, your stage presence is it's really remarkable, and I'm reminded that like Mick Jagger says when he's on stage, he's Mick Jagger, but he is emulating to an extent, Little Richard and some of these rock and roll guys. Are you channeling someone with your presence, or is that your own thing?
Well, first of all, I thank you so much for saying that, and that means the world to me because. The one time I'm happiest is when I'm on the stage doing my thing. And we were just nominated this year for Best Live Act, one of 7 bands nominated for Best Live Act by Motive Magazine in Rhode Island, Best Live Act in Rhode Island in nearby Connecticut and Massachusetts. So that was nice that this far in that somebody would nominate us. I mean, we didn't win, but hey, an original band at this juncture to be even nominated was quite a thing. Mick Jagger, it's funny to say that because the Rolling Stones are my favorite band of all time. In fact, I have a Rolling Stones tattoo. Mick Jagger is the best front person there's ever been, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, there's some, David Lee Roth at one point, Scott Weiland certainly at one point, Freddie Mercury, of course, at one point. But another one of my main influences is Iggy Pop, and of course, Iggy will tell you that he was influenced by Jim Morrison. So I do what I do just because I can't do it any other way. And, I'm just channeling me, enjoying the fact that I'm lucky enough to have the great musicians that I have behind me that enable me to run around and act like an idiot and have a good old time. Well, thank you. And there again, that goes back to, my band members have always been most welcoming and accommodating to me. As I said, I've been involved with these guys for 29 years, be 30 years next year. And when I first joined the band, Brian Rothgut, he was always like, you do you. A quick story is when I joined the band, Brian was actually the singer of the band. It was his band. He was the singer. He played the guitar or played the bass, whatever we needed. He wrote the songs, he sang the songs. So when he said to me, I want you to be the singer for my band, I was like, but you're the singer for your band. And he's like, well, I want you to be. So it was kind of a strange situation. Usually when a band gets a new singer, it's because the old singer is gone So to become the singer of a band and have the singer of the band that you are, for lack of a better word, replacing, to have him be there was quite a unique situation.
Yeah.
But Brian was always most accommodating, like, you know what? You sing the songs the way you want to do them. Change any words you want to change, which I didn't have to change much because, like I said, Brian Rock, I mean, he was a Rhode Island punk rock legend. I mean, he put together so many compilations over the years of various bands from all over. So, I mean, the groundwork, I mean, I stepped into the perfect situation. And Brian was always, Brian and every band member has always been, you know what, do your thing, dress how you want, do what you want. And it just has been very good. And I'm very lucky that, you know, we live in a progressive part of the country overall. I mean, New England is not a bunch of backwoods, you know, people in New England seem to be more open-minded to stuff than people in other parts of the country. So I'm lucky that I live where I live, and I'm certainly lucky that my bandmates have always been, you know what, do your thing.
Absolutely, man. We have another call coming in. Scooter Patch.
I'm ready for as many people that want to call in. This is awesome.
All right, man. Scooter Patch, line 2 through, man.
Hello, my name is Waylon Wilford Woods.
Hey, Waylon.
I'm actually putting together a bit of a one-man show variant myself. I'm thinking musical pieces, a soliloquy, a few dramatic readings, and, well, I was calling in today to see if you had any advice.
Well, my advice would be always do what you want to do. And it's you know, that's what how Buddy first got in touch with me is because of the ad that I put on Craigslist, looking to do exactly what you're talking about. So my only advice is always follow your heart, do what you want to do, and never let anybody tell you that something's not going to work. You know what? The world is full of stuff that wasn't going to work, that worked out just fine. But more importantly, if you're happy doing what you're doing, and you feel good about putting out to the world what you want to put out, that this is awesome. So my only advice is follow your heart and do what you want to do, and you'll always be happy doing it.
Okay, I'm not sure if Buddy played any of the songs I've recorded already for you.
No, I didn't get a chance to play him any of the songs yet.
Yeah, Buddy, if you could be a sport, could you go ahead and play a couple of those melodies for this gentleman?
Sorry, Waylon, we don't really have the time to that, but hey, I'll email them to you.
Yeah, Waylon, I definitely, I put shows together in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. So whenever you're ready to do your thing and you want to do it out in front of people, by all means, I'm sure there's a bill I can get you on, because I love all kinds of music. The people I play with and the people we play for are all very open-minded people.
Please, Buddy,
I'd
this
love to have you on the bill.
As I'll be obviously an expert, pardon me, but may I ask a slightly personal question, sir?
Oh, you can ask me anything you want. That don't mean I'm going to answer it, but ask me.
Yeah, Waylon, this guy's a professional, man.
Oh, and I'm not a professional?
Not always.
May I ask a question without interruption, please, Buddy?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I was wondering, you know, as a young musician, you must be well acquainted with the drug scene. I was wondering what are the kids doing nowadays? What's popular? What's hot, drug-wise right now? What's hot drug-wise right now?
Well, no, that's fine. Well, certainly, I'm not young. I'm 55 years old, my friend. So I'm far from young. And to be honest with you, I don't know what the wacky kids are doing these days. But all I can say is, if you drink beer and you smoke weed, you'll be all right.
There you go. There you go.
Well, sir, you've been quite helpful. I've actually got some drugs of my own to do right now, and hopefully they'll help stimulate the creative process, lad?
Okay, you know what, my friend, like I said, I have my ice-cold beer right here. I got my joint in my hand as we're talking. So you do whatever you got to do to keep these creative juices flowing, my friend.
Good night, sir, and a pleasure talking to you. buddy.
Thank you so
Talk
much
to you
for the
soon,
call.
lad.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Waylon. Waylon's one of a kind.
And that's all right. And that's good to be one of a kind when you're doing your thing, because you want to do stuff like nobody else. And that's why, like I said, it was nice that this far in to be nominated for Best Live Act Rhode Island. I mean, that just meant the world to me, because I can only do it one way, and that's my way. And that's, yeah. So more power to Waylon, and more power to anybody that has the balls to get up on stage and do their thing. It's like I said, if someone's playing music and they're having a good time, more power to them.
We've actually got another call coming in, Bomber.
Okay.
Line 2, Scooter.
Hello?
Hey, you're on with Bomber and Buddy.
Hey, buddy, how's it going? This is Sam Walker.
Hey, what's up, Sam? How you doing?
Hey, pretty good. I gotta say, I gotta hand it to Bomber. He rolled with that last caller, Wayland, with grace. I've listened, to that guy a couple of times on the show, and that guy's like a walking fever dream. It's like, whenever he comes on, it's like, where's this gonna go? So, but Bomber, I'll stick with non-personal questions for you. Who's your least favorite band, and what's the worst band you've played with?
Well, okay. I can't say anything is my least favorite band, but I can say, as far as I'm concerned, the most overrated band of all time is the Beatles. That's just my opinion. I know people, what are you talking about? Sacrilege, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I love the Grateful Dead, and people don't like them. And I say, hey, whatever. But there's something about when you say to somebody that you think the Beatles are overrated, they like take it as some personal attack. As, oh my God, I can say it's like, it's my opinion. And as far as the worst band that I play with live, I would never say that. But what I would say is, if I book a band on a show and they don't show up on time for load in, or they don't stick around for the other bands, or I just don't care for them, I won't book them again. But I would never name, obviously there's bands that I've played with that I don't particularly care for. I don't think that they should have been playing out. They, not saying they weren't, but they just weren't ready for whatever reason, or maybe they had a bad show. Cause you never know, but I would never name a band. I wouldn't do that.
I like that. So you're not like judging them on like the quality of their music. You're judging them by like their professionalism and courteousness to their other bands and other acts. It sounds like.
Well, exactly. That's the thing. They're courteous. You can't. If your set time is at 3:00 and you roll in at 2:58 and you got a half-hour set, and at 3:35 you're walking out the door. Well, that's very unprofessional. It's not cool. And like I said, I'll never put you on a bill again. And trust me, that happens more than you would like to think. Now, there's nothing ruder than when a band is playing and a band comes in and they're carrying their crap in as a band is playing, or carrying their crap out as a band is playing. And it's just totally rude and just completely unnecessary. It's like, you took this show, you can play your set, and you can stick around for the bands after you. And if you were in at load-in time when you should have been, you'd be there for the bands before you. And bands that aren't, like I said, I never book them again. And trust me, Rhode Island is a very small, it's a small state to begin with. There's even less bands. And if you're a douche, it don't take long for people to figure out that you're a douche. And if I realize you're a douche, other people are going to realize that you're a douche too. And then you're going to have a hard time getting shows because no one wants to play with douchebags.
Gotcha. Cool. I can respect that. Good to hear somebody makes a decision on bookings based off of how well how well they treat the other acts and the other performers. And I hear where you're coming from with the Beatles being extremely overrated. They had some very clever marketing on their end, I think, more so than, they obviously they had some talent, but they also had some very, very clever marketing and stuff going on.
Yeah, well, I'll add, I love Abbey Road. I think Abbey Road is a great album, but as far as the group in whole, it's not my cup of tea. But I love the Stones. So you got the classic Stones versus Beatles thing, whatever. The Stones have always been my cup of tea. I prefer more rock and roll, raw rock and roll, as opposed to shiny pop stuff. And just, to me, Stones are rock and roll. The Beatles are poppy rock stuff. But hey, whatever. It's all good. And as you know, too, buddy, as another thing that you saw was my post. If you wanna make money, you know, being a generic cover band. There again, it's not my idea of a good time. And you know, and there's people that look at tribute bands as the same thing. Oh, you're in a tribute band. But I think that, to me, it's harder to be in a band that's dedicated to a single band, as opposed to being in a generic cover band, because you're still limited as to what you can play, and you have to break out something from that band that you think is going to fit, as opposed to if you're, you know, a generic cover band, you have every song, you have every possible song that your band knows at any possible time, and you can break it out to get out of any situation, which is just, I don't know, it's not the same to me in a tribute band. It's just not the same thing, and there's people that will argue that point too.
We actually have another call coming in.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Percy Crumb.
Okay.
At Florida Correctional Institution. Call is subject to recording and monitoring. Accept charges.
That's one of our listeners.
Charges. Thank you for using T-Netics. You may start the conversation now.
Hello?
Hiya, buddy. Percy here.
Hey, Percy, what's going on? We've got two musicians on the show.
My name's Percy. What's yours again?
This is Bomber.
Oh, hi. Well, as Buddy alluded to, I'm something of a musician myself. In fact, I was on tour with the rest of my band before I got myself into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, Percy is a frequent caller to our show. He's a drummer. He actually quit his job recently and started touring with a band, Ralphie and the Badger Milk.
Nice. You know what? I always envied a band that had band members that said, you know what? Let's quit our jobs. I got a wife and kids, blah, blah, blah. You know what, dude? If you got a wife and kids, that's all the more reason to quit your job and go on tour.
So he did.
Much respect to any band that is able to do that. I would have loved to have done that. But, you know, people have girlfriends and boyfriends and wives and kids and jobs and all that stuff that always gets in the way. So, yeah, that more power to you for on tour. That's awesome.
So, Percy, you did the right thing by leaving your wife and going to join a band, even though you're in prison now.
Actually, sir, I wanted to ask about live performances. Occasionally, during particularly high-energy shows, I sweat quite a bit and my hands get slippery. I'm always nervous I'll lose a stick or two. It's never happened, but it's always on the forefront of my mind. In your opinion, sir, what's the best way to stay focused while on the stage?
Okay, well, it's funny that you say that, because I have a wireless setup that I have a wireless mic. And I actually I took a pink shoelace. I took a pink shoelace and tied it around my microphone and made a loop that goes around my wrist. So when I'm running around acting like an idiot, it is impossible for me to drop my mic. So my drummer, he has more of a problem because of, you know, obviously a drummer. I mean, besides me, he's the hardest working guy in the band as far as, you know, a physical workout. So there's been times where sticks will go flying, more at practice than at shows. For some reason, Bill, he's able to hold on to his sticks better during a show. I don't know, but stuff happens at shows all the time. Every show, something happens. A guitar player is going to break a string. A drummer is going to lose a stick. My wireless is going to kick out. And the only thing you can do to stay focused is, you know, when things go wrong, your band has your back. So my only answer to how do I stay focused is, I know that when I screw up, which I'm going to do, everybody else is going to cover it and the show goes on. And if you do it right, nobody knows you screwed up. Everybody in the band knows you screwed up, but somebody watching the show, they have no idea that something went awry. Of course, if a string breaks, whatever. But even when strings break, you keep doing it. And when the song is over, you switch guitars, or you say, hey, I got to switch a string. So the best and only way to stay focused is to know that your band has your back.
Yeah, I'm sure I hope that answers the question. Wild stories. One time back at the campground my family and I used to frequent, there was a Crosby, Stills, and Nash cover band playing one 4th of July weekend. Fireworks and the whole shebang.
Nice.
After I dried off from using the pool, I went to watch the band, and the gentleman playing guitar keeled over and started vomiting right in the middle of the song. What started off as a pleasant weekend ended up with half the camp catching a stomach bug. Septic stations were awful that day.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the front row for that one. Anything else, Percy?
Well, I'm not sure if Buddy mentioned, but I'm currently incarcerated.
Yes, I know you are. He did mention that. And as long as you didn't kill your singer, you're all right in my book, my friend.
If you'd be interested in singing a quick tune, a song or something, I'll throw the phone on speaker so the rest of the fellas can hear. Anything will do. Maybe something a little uplifting.
Yeah, Percy, he can't sing for you, man. I mean, unless you want to, Bomber, that would make their day probably there over at the Florida Penitentiary.
Well, yeah, you know what? I got no accompaniment, obviously, but all right. I mean, you're in prison, so I get it. But when you get out, hoist the beer. So here's a quick song called "Crack Open Your Bush." So here we go. Rising foam in a nervous fist shakes up her very last sip. Got to take it all now, baby. Got to get a grip. Every sip is venom. The taste quenches your thirst. Suck it down fast, but crack it open first. The brew is ready, fermented in your thighs. The mugs are frosted, it's open bar tonight. Crack open your bush. Crack it open. Crack open your bush. Crack it open. Stretch out legs, cross the kicks, a stale brew. Crack it open, it's all for you. The night goes on, the cans are getting warm. You feel the fluid foam dripping like a storm. Crack open your bush. I hope that is sufficient for you, my friend.
Oh, thank you, man. That was awesome. Percy, what'd you think, man?
Wow. Well, it looks like someone else needs the phone.
All right.
There's a rather large man standing behind me. He doesn't look like he's joking around.
Yikes.
He's been standing very closely for the last hour.
All right, man, you better go.
All right, thanks, fellas. And Percy, out.
Bye, Percy.
Thank you so much, Percy. Have a good one.
Hey, thanks, man. That was really nice of you. We actually have another one coming in now if you're ready for... Hello?
Hey, how you doing? This is Mr. Bowers.
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Bowers? They're on with Bomber and Buddy.
Hey, pal, listen, I'm currently seeking information regarding the performance art industry. And I was wondering if you didn't mind me asking you a couple of questions.
Knock yourself out. Go for it.
Yeah, you see, I was wondering, organizing a concert or a show, what that entails. From what I've gathered, that appears to be a pretty stressful endeavor.
Putting together a show.
Oh, yeah, well, what that entails is, first of all, you got to procure a venue, which is always a plus. I mean, if you don't have venues, you can't have shows. So once I get a venue and I get a date, then that's when the real fun begins. And obviously fun, I'm being sarcastic. That's when the whole real stuff comes in, because then you have to reach out to bands. And obviously each band, you can have 2, 3, 4, 5 people in a band. So when you reach out to a band and you say, hey, I have this date at this venue, can you play it? Then they have to, in turn, get to all of their bandmates and ask them, hey, we have this date in this venue, can you play it? So then they get back to me and they say, okay, we can indeed play the show. Okay, great. So now I have to repeat that numerous times, the same process numerous times. And then what happens is when a band, there again, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in a band, even when they all say we can do a show, something happens. I mean, stuff happens. It's just the way it goes. I mean, somebody gets sick, somebody gets hurt, somebody that they care about gets hurt, blah, blah, blah. That's when the stressful stuff comes in, is when you have a show lined up, like I do the first Sunday of Platforms in Providence. I put 5 bands, my band and 4 other bands on the bill. So I have to do that. And at that particular venue, Platforms, I have 4 bands that I deal with. And then I also put shows together at a Dusk in Providence, the Parlor in Providence, News Cafe. I do stuff in Connecticut at Charlie Bravo's. So, I'm putting together, 3, 4, 5 shows at a time. And then a month later, I'm putting more shows together. So it's a constant battle of finding bands that you have worked with before that you know are going to show up, or B, we're working with bands that you haven't worked with before, but you've heard enough good things about them or you've seen them to say, hey, you want to be on a bill. And then once the band says, yes, we can do that, then you hope that nobody, someone's car doesn't break down or something doesn't happen to them or someone they care about. So that indeed, the most stressful part is getting all the bands to play a show and then having them all show up when they say they're going to show up. And as I was alluding to earlier, show up at load in and stay for your set time and stay for the other bands. So that is the most stressful part by far. Nothing's better than that. It's worth the stress. It's worth every hair losing minute of it.
Yeah, I believe Mr. Bowers was asking too because he's actually a private investigator.
Yeah, because the reason I'm asking you, between you and I, is because a client I'm currently doing work for was a Rockette. Have you ever had any run-ins with organized crime, spending all your time in clubs like that? I figured dealing with payoffs or something, getting booked, anything?
Well, you know what? I haven't had. You know what? I am not doing anything big enough that anybody's going to want a piece of my pie. I can't. Now I'm sure in some of the venues that we have played at, that they might have to deal with some people. I mean, this is Rhode Island after all. So I mean, we all live in reality. So as far as I'm concerned, I've never had anybody bother me because you can't get nothing from nothing. So the simple question is I've never been bothered or pressured for anything because I can't give you what I'm not making.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, Bomberman, thanks. We've got this, I guess, one last person.
Hi, buddy. It's Mr. Mitsubishi.
Oh, hey, Mr. Mitsubishi, you're on the air with a local musician.
Nice, buddy. Nice. Hey, I call. Ask your friend. What instrument he play?
He's a singer for a band.
Mr. Mitsubishi play keyboard.
Hey, he was looking for a keyboard player.
Bye.
Well, all right, Mr. Mitsubishi. I'm the singer. I write the words and I sing them. I don't have the talent. I don't have the talent to play guitar or do anything like that. So I got the easy part. I just sing.
That was great. I believe we're gonna close up the phone lines. Scooter, can you go ahead and close down the phone lines for the night?
And that was the first conversation we ever had with Bomber of Vague Perception. Bomber would come back to appear on the show many times after this. The next person we spoke to is not the singer of a band. He's actually a chef. His name is Zarian Radian. Sam, you couldn't be in studio for this. You were at the airport, but the tireless worker you still called in and asked Zarian some questions.
Honestly, I didn't even need to do that because I feel like neither of us needed to put in any effort in this interview, and this guy would have. If we didn't do anything, he would still be talking at us.
Zarian talked at us for about 3 hours. Don't worry, folks. This is way, way condensed. This is the best of that interview. Zarian, he's a vegan chef. He can talk to animals. He believes in, drinking water that is alive, that has positive vibrations coming off of it. So maybe you'll learn something while you listen to this too. I know I didn't.
I'm trying to think of how much of his advice we didn't take.
Knowledgeable guy. Wish him all the best. He's probably still talking at his computer, not knowing the interview ended.
In his sleep.
Let's throw to our interview with the superhero chef. Enjoy.
Hello, this is Zarian.
Hey, Zarian, this is Buddy over with WDUM. You're live. How you doing today, man?
Hi, buddy. Thank you for having me.
Zarian, you call yourself the superhero chef. That's what caught my eye when I was looking through Craigslist for people to interview.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, well, I've pretty much been into cooking for myself ever since I was 5. I remember making my own pancakes and BLTs And I've always had just a natural knack to be taking care of my body. I've always viewed the body as a holy temple. So when I was a young kid, a lot of kids were eating candy and all this stuff. I would do that occasionally, but it just wasn't really my true passion to be following what other people were doing. So I would make my own meals, always exploring and experimenting. And then my family owned a pizzeria, so I would make my own funny shaped pizzas. So I've always been into this creative mode of using nutrition, doing it with a healthy spin, because I see way too many people. They kind of treat their bodies like a machine, and they just dump whatever they want in there. And at some point, what I tell most people, at some point you're going to pay a price. And I say, why not, put an investment into your body now instead of treating your body kind of ignorantly and not really honoring your body. For me, the body is a holy temple, and it's your vehicle to go out in life and be who you're truly meant to be, to live your highest, most victorious life. And to go out there and do that, you need life force, you need energy, you need to look and feel good. And if you don't, well, you get what you got on this planet right now. You have 8 out of 10 people right now are either overweight, out of shape, or chronically sick. Those numbers continue to rise. So my mission is to revolutionize the health and wellness industries, because they're failing miserably for humanity, and especially in the Western cultures. People do not look good. They don't feel good. And my one question I have for everyone is, where are all the fit, healthy, radiant people? Now people are starting to realize.
So we actually have
right with this information.
Sorry, Zarian. I mean to cut you off there. We actually have a first caller coming in. Who's that online too?
Am I on?
Yeah. What's going on? Who am I speaking to? You're on with Chef Zarian on WDUM. How you doing today?
Oh man, hey, what's going on, buddy? This is Ralph.
What's up, Ralphie? How you doing, man?
Long time contributor to the
Hello.
show, man. But this is my first time calling. The reason I'm calling is because, to be honest, I'm listening to the chef here, and it really struck me, and I could use some advice, because I'm a touring musician and I'm always on the road. And what ends up happening is I find it so much easier to run into a Burger King or a McDonald's or something I'm familiar with, or something that's easy and cheap. And I have trouble trying to make healthier decisions while I'm on the road. And that's something I always struggled with.
Yeah, so when you go out on the road, it is challenging. Even for me, I usually pre-plan. So what a lot of people do is they, whether they're flying on a plane or they're going to visit family or they're going on vacation with you, your job, whatever, it's called consciousness. So use a little bit more preparation. So pre-plan, say, okay, I'm leaving tomorrow. So start packing some things in your bag, some healthier stuff, some healthier nuts, some things that agree with your body, things that are, kind of convenient. So, because you can't cook while you're traveling, obviously, usually. So my thing is pre-plan for yourself, and go to the health food store, go to Whole Foods, go to Sprouts, and just pick up some healthier options. They have trail mixes, and they got, gluten-free options that are better, but just pre-plan before you go on the trip, because I know you're busy and you're not going to have the time when you're on the go. So for me, that's number one. Number two is, go to a restaurant, but order health options. So healthier options are, number one, you stay away from breads and anything with sugar. So what you can do is order guacamole, and you can dip vegetable chips in there instead of doing the breads and the nachos, because the nachos are fried and they're corn. The corn is GMO. So what you do is you can do some clean soups, some clean guacamole. They might have some hummus dip. So you can do that as an appetizer. You can do your salad, but I would put extra things on it, like eggs and nuts and seeds, something that, because salad in and of itself is pretty it's not very hearty. It's kind of light and simple. So I recommend a nice salad, clean soups like minestrone, something like chicken and rice, something like that. Then you order your main entree. You want a balanced meal of get your main meat, whether it's salmon or a ribeye steak or chicken, but then balance it with extra sides of vegetables, grilled vegetables or steamed broccoli, and then a side of rice or potatoes. That's a balanced meal, and now you're avoiding fried foods, you're avoiding sugar, and you're avoiding the bread, but you're still able to enjoy. It's just that you're going to watch your selection. So it's a little bit more about using your consciousness, being prepared. So prepare. Go to the health food store and grab a few goodies. And I don't have the time to go into it, but I could walk you through the store and show you. But for the sake of this conversation, is just pre-plan, prepare, and then on the road make healthier options. It can be done, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. But I'm a little more picky because I like to take care of my holy temple, so I go extra clean. But when I go to a restaurant, I'll order it. I just won't have fried greasy stuff or sugary stuff. I'll order wholesome stuff, singular items like rice and potatoes and my ribeye steak with an extra, and I'll sometimes get 2 or 3 portions of vegetables. Always make vegetables half of your plate because that'll fill you up, but it also balances out the acidity of the meats and the other starches. So if you can do that, I think you'll fare much better. And just also preparing by going to a health food store, ordering stuff online, and having some protein bars with you, some really clean, lower sugar protein bars, but things that you can pack in your bag. And I've coached professional athletes now for 7 years, and I have them bring a magic bullet with them, and I teach them my Mystic smoothie recipe, and they love it. And it's a staple, and they can easily pack the other ingredients like protein powder and other stuff in their bag, even though it's a little bit of sometimes it might be a little challenging. But I've had literally people bring a magic bullet and make their own smoothie because they'd rather eat cleaner than eat the crap that's available at airports and all this other stuff. So hopefully that helps you.
That does. And I just want to follow up with one kind of side question to that question, if that's all right, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead.
Yeah. So I noticed it when you said your body's a holy temple, right? So the first thing I thought of was I treat mine like a garbage pit, right? So I'm on stage, right? And the first thing I think of is when I'm on stage, I'm drinking, right? I'm pounding high calorie beers, high carb beers, and that's not the best choice, but I like to drink when I perform. Do you have any suggestions of healthier alternative alcohols?
Yes. Because a lot of people have that question. So what I would recommend, because beer is an interesting one. Beer is actually one of the worst drinks you can drink because it's very processed because of the ingredients they're using, but the main thing they're putting is synthetic yeast. Synthetic yeast can actually do a number to not only your digestive system, but hormones. And so when you ingest something, it breaks down into something in your body. But the way that beer breaks down, it's called sugar. And most people don't know that. So this is why some people go, oh, he has a beer belly, or they have a beer belly. And then some people, like college kids, they go from high school to college and they wind up putting 15, 20 pounds on, and they don't understand why so much, because they're ingesting so many high quantities of beer, but the body is transforming into sugar, which then transforms it into fat. So excess starches and sugars can wreck your metabolism. It can alter your basal metabolic rate. So now you're storing extra fat. So to kind of, if you can slowly wean yourself off, because it's going to be a challenge. I tell people, don't just go cold turkey, because you'll go through withdrawal and then you'll feel miserable. So for my thing is slowly but surely, what you can do is you can either make your drink, and I have several drinks, but the number one thing I recommend is sake. Sake, even though it's some people don't like it, it's actually a better alternative because it's naturally fermented with bacteria. They're not adding synthetic yeast. Synthetic yeast wrecks your body. And this is why beer is one of the worst. You're better off with a more natural alcoholic drink. Even rum or Jägermeister is made with pure herbs. It's made with 50 some pure herbs in Europe. And it actually used to be a secret remedy for colds and flus. And then they kind of monetized it, but it's actually one of the healthier drinks. So Jägermeister, things that are more pure, sake, those are much more pure forms. But beer is one of the worst. Even the hops, they're very processed and they can break down kind of weird in your body. So I don't personally recommend beer, but if you got to go there, do your best to limit your intake. And also see if you can use these healthier options. So what I recommend to people is do sake and add some flavored juice in there, maybe some orange juice or lemon juice with a little raw honey. You can make your own mixed drinks that actually still taste good and you still get that alcohol kick. I personally do one specific type of sake. It comes from Japan, and it's so delicious on its own that I get my fix. I just personally don't like beer. I don't like wine, thank goodness. But a lot of people do, and so I teach them how to choose healthier. So if you do wine, go for the sulfite-free wines, because those sulfites are very hard on the body. They're natural preservatives, but they can still wreck your digestive system. So my thing is, if you do wine, choose sulfite-free wines. They're making them. There's more options of those available. Sake is really good, and you can do also sparkling water. You can use like Pellegrino, and you can put some pineapple juice with raw honey in a glass and mix it. It tastes fantastic. These are really cool, yummy drinks. I mean, I could go on and on with all my superhero drinks and stuff, but right now, just healthier options, and explore. But for me, I would try the sake, try sparkling water with some lemon, orange juice, and a little raw honey. And then the other one would be sulfite-free wines, and they're a lot more readily available nowadays.
Right on. The only one catch: if I'm drinking sake on stage, I'm gonna have my boys shoot it in my mouth like at the hibachi restaurants. All right, buddy. Hey, man, thanks so much, man. I love you guys. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, Ralphie.
Thank you. Good talking to you, bro.
All right, Zarin, you ready for another call?
For sure.
All right. Line 2.
Well, hello there. My name is Waylon Wilford Woods. How are you today?
Good evening. Very good. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You've appeared on the show at a very opportune time in the life of Waylon Wilford Woods, because like so many others in the new year, I've resolved to lose a few lbs.
Yeah. Great. Excellent.
So I was hoping you'd be able to assist me here. I'm going to yell out some of my most preferential dishes that I've been told are unhealthy to eat, and I was hoping you would be able to counter with a healthy dish I could replace it with.
Excellent. Sure, for sure.
Okay, ready? Spaghetti and meatballs.
For sure. Spaghetti meatballs. I mean, I just actually did a video last night, my superhero pasta. So what I recommend is, so what I do is I take every meal option and I transform it into a healthy spin. So the option over the wheat flour, I think just that in of itself will help you to feel better.
All right.
They do well with meals.
Anything else, Waylon?
Shrimp cocktail.
Shrimp cocktail? I think that's pretty healthy.
Shrimp cocktail. Okay, so I would say limit your amount of seafood, because right now we do have an issue with, there's a lot of stuff going into our oceans, and shrimp seem to accumulate a lot of mercury and PCPs.
Waylon, you there?
As ever, buddy, I've prepared a song for today in honor of the superhero chef appearing.
Oh, yeah, this guy, he's very wealthy here in town. We're in New England. So he's one of one of the main benefactors of the station.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, buddy, and as I mentioned, I prepared this number with the superhero chef themselves in mind. It's about my own battles with obesity and my personal love for ice cream.
Yeah, a song about your battles with obesity and your personal love for ice cream. Do you want to indulge him, Chef?
Sure. So,
all right. He's writing a one-man show.
Oh, I could eat everything from a buffet or a chef. My blood sugar alarm would never ring. But it rings, and I rise. I wipe the mayonnaise off my eyes. My ice cream scoop is warm and sticky. Wake up the sleeping freak. Oh, what can he eat? To a ice cream eater and a food munching queen.
Oh, you went all out on this one.
You once thought of me as a drug addict lost at sea. But now you know how hungry I will be. When the meals start, but they don't end, with millions of dollars that I can spend. But she said, how much Waylon can you really eat? Okay, wake up the sleeping freak. Oh, what can it mean to ice cream eater and food munching queen? Let's go. Wake up the sleeping freak. Come on, buddy, you too. What can it mean to the chef? Let's go. Ice cream eater and food munching queen. Everybody now. Here we go. The stage is adorned with anthropomorphic ice creams milling about. There's a soda jerk behind a massive counter doling out scoops. Let's go to the left, and we're dancing to the right. Okay, here we go. Right like this. What do you think, buddy?
You know I'm not
Chef,
a big
what do you
fan of
think?
your songs. What do you think, Chef?
Very talented, I must say. Pretty creative.
You're talented, he said. Waylon, he said you're talented.
Thank you. And buddy, as ever, thank you for providing me with a platform for which to grace the masses with my melodies.
Yep.
Chef, good day. Buddy, talk to you soon, lad.
Bye, Waylon.
Hey.
All right. Yeah, we have some eccentric callers. What'd you think of that tune?
Pretty creative. It's pretty interesting. At least he's speaking from his heart, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, so he's writing his own one-man show. He's going to do like a big production.
Cool. So I had my own organic bistro, so I'm well aware of the industry. Yeah. Well, my restaurant was unique because, I work with food alchemy, and people go, well, what is alchemy? So I have this superhero power I do with my food. Before I eat it, I clear the food of all toxic remedy, because most people aren't aware that water in your food can pick up vibration. It can pick up memory. Like water, especially, can pick up negative vibrations, and most people are unaware of this. But and so I give people the experience of, well, eat that food and now eat my food, and every time there's like their eyes come out of their head, like, whoa, what are you doing with your food? I'm like, I'm alchemizing it. So in my restaurant, I used to alchemize everything. So I would clear the food and I would bless it, and I would imbue it with light and frequencies of higher frequencies of health and wellness. Now, most people think that's nuts and it's not true. And I'm like, but I can prove it. And every time I would go, I'd work in my restaurant, I would be preparing my dishes. It was like almost like clockwork. Every day, at least once, my server would come back and say, this diner wants to meet you. They want to ask you something. And I'm like, and sometimes literally people would wait over an hour because I was busy in the back and would have to wait till after rush that I could go out and speak to these people. But every day it would seem like once a day, somebody was asking to see me, and they would just be sitting there and marveling, like, I've eaten this dish at other restaurants 500 times. Why is yours unique? And I would explain to them, well, I'm doing actually less to the food. I'm actually putting in less ingredients, but I tried to explain to them it's my love and passion, and I'm imbuing this food with higher frequencies. And so I would leave people very marveled at.
Well, it's really inspiring. Thanks for that little story there, Zarian.
Yeah, for sure.
Line 3.
Hiya, buddy. Percy here.
Hey, what's going on, Percy? You're on with Chef Zarian.
Thanks, buddy. Let me volley one her way.
Go ahead.
Chef, it appears the last few years, food trends have continued to change and will likely continue to do so into the future. As a boy, I was taught to abide by the food pyramid. It's something I still follow to this day. As an innovative chef, can you speak to its validity in current times?
Yeah, what I tell people is all you have to do is look at the people out there. Okay, so if all these things that are being told to us are true, then you should be able to go out sit in a park, or you should be able to go sit in an airport, and you should be able to sit at any public space. And the truth is always revealing to you. So just look. For me, look at the people. What do you see when you go to an airport or a public setting? Do you see vibrant, healthy people walking around? Because I know the answer. I see every year it's getting worse to the point where I don't even remember the last time I saw more than one healthy person walking together. Like it's just crazy. So what I'm saying is, It's 8 or 9 out of 10 people now are either overweight, out of shape, or have some health conditions. Only new. The difference, like what they're putting in what they could be putting, and then the difference that would happen in their body. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, well, my wife has been battling a weight issue since she was a girl. She's been known to devour 4 to 6 buckets of Kentucky Fried Chicken a week.
4 to 6 buckets of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
A well-balanced diet is whatever's on the display case at Friendly's.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, all that stuff is basically it's all altered GMO, but toxic oils. All that stuff puts your body in survival mode. And it's literally causing your liver and organs to malfunction, and the body can't function. The body can't even detox. So what you're doing is storing, like I said earlier, you're storing toxin. But the water, if you don't drink living water, it will sit in your system. Can change a person's life, their health, and their consciousness.
All right, Percy?
I also wanted to ask about eating on the road. The band and I typically pack a few tuna casseroles for something to munch on the long trips. Is there anything we could be doing to eat a little healthier?
Percy, we actually covered that a little earlier in the episode. When I post this, you can go to the beginning and listen to what the chef recommended. Is that cool with you, Chef?
For sure.
Anything else, Percy?
Now, I'm not sure if Buddy brought you up to speed, but I was recently an inmate of the Florida Correctional Facility. It was a heck of a stay. Something folks have been asking me about is the prison diet. Is this diet feasible in the real world?
Clarify the question. What is feasible in the real world?
I guess the prison diet. I've never heard of that personally. I assume it's just following what they eat in prison.
I've never heard of it. No, never heard of it. Anything that's being promoted, everything that's being promoted as this diet, that diet, already is going to have its flaws. You should not be focusing on a diet per se, because a diet is in a box. If you're following a box, kind of like any box, deeper levels, if people want to be well and live a delicious life.
Well, Chef, you down for one more call? Because we do have another guest coming on at 8:15 on WDUM. We can do one more phone call if you're up for it. All right, Scooter, you can patch the last one through. Hello? Hey, Mr. Stinkwater. Hey, sorry about this one, Chef. This guy's from the deep, deep, deep south. I think you're going to have your hands full on this one. Most of the things he eats, I didn't even know were edible. Jim?
Well, I was just sitting here listening to my radio when I heard you was interviewing a chef, and as a restaurateur myself, I got to thinking it might be a good opportunity for me to call in for a few tips.
Yeah, I guess he did. So Jim runs a restaurant here in town. I guess he wanted a few tips. Is that correct, Jim?
That's all right with you, Chef. Well, you see, I run myself the Jim Stinkwater All-American, all-you-can-eat, hometown, home-style bar, grill, pub, and bistro. And we've been struggling to make some healthy replacements for the customers, that are looking for healthier, lighter foods. As the name mentions, we're all you can eat. Y'all got any tips for healthy foods that customers can consume large quantities of?
Well, that would be that would be a conversation you'd probably have to have in private. But I mean, there's always healthier options for sure. I mean, I would need to take a look at your menu. I mean, I could provide that service where it can take a look at your menu, come visit you, and we could talk. But for sure, there's always healthier options. It's because I want it the freshest of ingredients, but I want it clean stuff. And then I would take it back to the restaurant, and me and my chef.
Sorry. He said, what was that, Jim? What about utilizing lesser meats? What is a lesser meat?
Yes, buddy, lesser meats. That's the politically correct term for roadkill.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now, Chef, if I found something like, say, a freshly killed possum on the side of the road, and I wanted to, and I thought it was ripe for a stew, what could I add to it to make it more healthy for me and my family?
Well, I don't think any chef is going to recommend eating something off the road.
Well, I would say if you can find something that's clean, I don't know what the situation was, but if you can find clean roadkill, that's fine. But if I don't know, I would say prepare it with healthier vegetables, healthier options, As far as I don't know what cuts you mean, but for me personally, I don't do lean cut meats. So, but as far as roadkill, I can't speak to that because I. But if you know how to prepare a roadkill, then go for it. But
Well, you've been quite helpful, and if you ever in the area, I'd love for you to stop by the Jim Stankwater All-American All-You-Can-Eat Hometown Homestyle Bar Grill Pub and Bistro.
Yeah, it's delicious. I know it's not good for you, but it does taste good.
I will do that. Where's this place at?
We're in Blunder. It's kind of a small town, but
okay.
he's not from our area originally. He kind of moved here from out of town. Do I see someone last on the line? We have room for this is the last one, guys, because we have another person coming on at 8:15. Hello?
Yep.
Hello. Hey.
Hi, who are we speaking to?
Hey, buddy, this is Sam Walker.
Oh, what's going on, Sam? Oh, hey, Zarian, this is my, he's usually my co-host on the show. This is Sam Walker.
Hi, Sam.
Hey, Zarian, how's it going? Sorry if you got any background noise on my end. I'm at the airport currently. So yeah, I got a question for you. This might be a bit of a curveball for you. I hope you haven't addressed this one earlier, but so me and a couple of my friends, we've got kind of a nasty addiction. I'll give you it's of the white powder substance, and I'm not talking about powdered sugar. So obviously not the healthiest habit. You know, we're trying to kick it, but actually what was really interesting is a couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine started to bring some new stuff in, and he said that this stuff was from the plant that he got it from was locally grown. Like I obviously didn't get it from a farmer's market, but it's it's like as fresh as could be. I'm not sure where you got the other stuff. So and ever since I started switching over to this stuff, I've never felt better. I've lost so much weight. Just really sharp mental clarity. So do you think that that it makes it that something like a cocaine leaf makes a difference if you are growing it from locally? I mean, it's non-GMO, I don't think. But man, I got to tell you, I feel a lot healthier since I switched over to this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So see what you're experiencing, and this is a perfect example. Is when you intake something that's more pure, it has a different effect on your body. A lot of stuff what's out there is overstimulating people's systems. So, even with CBD and all these things that are going on, a lot of these things, even like the, medical marijuana, all these things are actually not pure forms of those plants. Like I was in Thailand and I would walk by on the beach and people would be smoking the pot and it smelled totally different. It actually smelled good. It smelled really good. And the people would not get totally flagged. Like they would be very mellow, but people in this country that smoke pot, it smells really weird to me. It feels really off. And then you look at the people and they're all screwed up. So for me, what you're experiencing is actually true. So it's just telling you that that's a more pure source, a pure ingredient. And so thus your body is responding differently, which it seems like it's actually doing better, obviously, than what you were doing before. So for me, it's still, what I would say is, because anything that becomes an addiction can become a limitation. So watch your frequency and how many times you do it, because what that can do then is reprogram your brain to need that stimulation. And if you don't get it, you're going to experience whether withdrawal or some weird symptoms. So for me, do what you want. It's your body, it's your life. But for me, try to find something to use instead. Like I have hemp paste that I sell. It's a pure 100% hemp plant. It's not CBD. It's not extracted. It's pure plant. But you can feel when you take it compared to these most CBD, all these products, they're so processed that there's no real constituents in there, or they're too stimulating, or they're too not. So for me, like you're experiencing, go always for the purer substance.
Gotcha. So it sounds like what you're saying is I should keep using this kind of cocaine.
Well, I would say if it feels good, then yeah, again, limit. But if of the two options that you're telling me, for sure, it sounds like this newer one is a lot better. It sounds, and obviously, so yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. That's that's all the questions I've got. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. And
right, bro.
Chef, you want to plug your stuff?
Sure. I'm creating a new platform. It's called the Superhero Kitchen.tv, and that's going to be my platform where I'm teaching people how to make these fun recipes. It's going to be a cool platform. People can watch me on live streams, or they can watch recorded videos.
Whew. Talk about long-winded. That was the superhero chef, Zarian Radian. Sam, how'd you feel listening to that again?
Sorry. That was... Man, to get the full experience, you got to listen to the whole uncompressed thing. What we just did was as a mercy to our listeners.
I mean, he seemed to have a good time on the show. Justice. He was singing along with Waylon, that song about ice cream. He was having a blast. You called in from the airport. He gave you some pretty good cocaine advice.
Mm-hmm. I remember him saying something along the lines of saying, if I remember correctly, maybe I'm wrong, but I think he said something along the lines of, "You'll be healthy if you do cocaine." That's what I took from it anyway.
Natural cocaine, I believe.
Natural,
gotta be natural. This next interview is one of our personal favorites. This was with a taxidermist, or a pickler, as he calls himself.
I love this guy.
His name was James. James is a great guy. We had an awesome conversation with him. He owns a store called Dead Things at a mall in New Mexico, and he came on the show and talked to us one day, took calls from our listeners. He spoke to Percy. He heard a song that Waylon wrote for him called The Taxidermist. James got along so well with us. We thought we hit it off with him so well that we actually invited him to join the show. He was going to come on and do a movie review every so often. Sam and I sent him some movies to his house. Unfortunately, we never got back in touch with him, but we really enjoyed this interview. What do you remember from our interview with the taxidermist, James?
This guy was my favorite. He was my favorite interview. Our sense of humor was aligned. He was a good sport to talk about pretty much anything. I remember the closest we came to offending him was when we called him a taxidermist.
Still remember him as the taxidermist James, but he's the pickler James. Or James.
He's definitely the pickler. Yeah, you could tell in that community that's like a very sensitive, distinction.
Yeah, he was serious about it, and he shed some light on the pickling industry, the non-cucumber pickling industry, and it was just a really fun conversation, and we hope you enjoy. Scooter, can you throw that?
Hello?
Hey, what's going on, James?
Hey, I'm here. How you doing?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad, man. We got my buddy Sam back. Sam, like you to meet James.
Hey, James, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, man?
Yeah, pretty good.
So I came across one of James's posts on Craigslist, and you were advertising Dead Things. That was the title of your post is what drew me to it. Okay, tell the people that are listening right now a little bit about what you do, James.
Well, the name of the ad is I Buy Dead Things, and it pretty much says I preserve small animals, fish, lizards, birds, and snakes and make art out of them. And that's basically what I do. I take small creatures, run them up with formaldehyde, stabilize them, and then put them in alcohol, and they'll last 100 years that way.
You've been practicing this for a long time?
No, it's about 5 years ago. My daughter had a strange friend who needed something for her birthday, and we went to this antiques place, and somebody had frogs in a jar. And it cost me $110 for a frog in a jar. And I was like, I can do this. And so I do them with ornate lamp parts and old apothecary jars, and it's pretty cool.
What's the largest animal that? Sorry, quick question. What's the largest animal that you've ever preserved?
If you're going to do anything bigger than a ferret, you got to take out its digestive tract. You got to take out its eyes, because all those things are going to rot. But the biggest thing I did was a gaboon viper that somebody gave me, a great big fat, really poisonous snake from I think Africa.
That must have looked pretty sweet. You got it done.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, but I pricked my finger on one of its teeth and kind of waited for 10 minutes to see if I was going to die because, you know, I didn't know if it had residual venom in it or not.
What happened? Did you get
Nothing.
sick?
I didn't die, but I kind of waited just to see if I would.
Wow.
That must have been a pretty nerve-wracking 10 minutes.
Yeah, I wasn't, you know, and one time I was injecting one of the lizards through its arm with formaldehyde, and I pushed too hard and it went through the arm into my thumb, and I pushed the plunger by, you know, mistake because I was just trying to force it through this thing, and I injected my thumb with formaldehyde. And it turned cherry red, but it didn't hurt, and it got better, so I don't know. Probably not good to have formaldehyde in your body.
You wouldn't think that this is like a dangerous hobby, but
I went to the flea market, and the people next to me, they were an older couple, and the old guy was really cool, but he was a bit challenged. And as it turned out, he was a mortuarer who had gotten formaldehyde poisoning throughout his career, and it kind of scrambled his brains. So ever since then, I've been working with gloves and, you know, kind of trying not to breathe it so much.
yeah, absolutely.
I've never heard of that before, but it makes sense. Formaldehyde poisoning. I mean,
yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah.
It's nasty stuff. After working with it, I decided on a natural burial. I don't want to be pumped full of formaldehyde after I'm gone. I don't even like the smell.
Yeah, I don't blame you, especially when you've probably been working with it, or you know, so much. You know, I'm picturing your house. Is your house like filled with taxidermied animals?
You know, I don't decorate that way, but I've got a couple of cats that are waiting to be mummified cats that in the Southwest, some creatures naturally mummify. You know, a cat crawls under a house and 30 years later you get a freeze-dried cat, basically. And some guys responded to the ad. These two tweakers were taking apart a old apartment complex down by the river, and they found two perfectly flat cats that had been under the floorboards for like 50 years. No predation. The roaches hadn't got to them. The raccoons hadn't eaten them. And they were just, they're like, they have no smell. They're as light as balsa wood. And you can tell one's definitely a male, one's definitely a female. She's all dainty. She's like a Siamese cat. They're really cool.
Wow.
But they're kind of sitting on top of the bookshelf waiting their turn to get framed.
And so you have a like counter that you rent out at the mall?
Yeah, it's a wall display at this antiques mall we have here in Albuquerque, and I have it on Instagram too if anybody wants to look at it. It's under the name Abnormal Elegance, and it has some of our creations on there.
Yeah, cool. Abnormal Elegance on Instagram. Definitely go check that out.
I'm going to check that out now.
Yeah, you can see, I think one of the first ones is one of the flat cats. I put it in a frame with a velvet background with a freeze-dried rat that I found over at Goodwill.
Wow. Goodwill has everything, man.
I'm serious. We have a Goodwill clearance center here, which is just big bins of Goodwill cast-offs, and it's 60 cents a pound. And you go in there, they let like 150 people in, and everybody rips through these bins, and you can find the craziest stuff in there.
Yeah, there's got to be some decent finds in there.
Yeah, I've been doing it for quite a few years. I found some really cool stuff. I made $350 off half a Grateful Dead ticket from 1971. I mean, you never know what's going to turn up.
Stuff like that, yeah, because I'm not too crazy about, like, I don't know, do we have savers where I'm from? Do you guys have any savers around there?
Yeah, we got savers and stuff, but they charge too much for their stuff. They only have like 5 of these clearance centers around the country that have just these big bins full of stuff that you can rip through. And we're just blessed with having one right down the street from where I live.
Sam, you checking out that website over there?
You know, I'm trying to find it. Unusual Elegance. Here's one on Instagram.
No, Abnormal Elegance.
Abnormal Elegance. Oh yeah, so Abnormal Elegance. It's weird. It brings up Unusual elegance on Instagram. Let's see. Okay, yep. There's a cat. There's a preserved cat. Let me send that over to Buddy.
Usually, when something mummifies like that naturally, the tendons contract and the muscles contract, and it gets all contorted. It rolls up into like a ball or something. So to have one perfectly flat like that is really, really rare. It's got to be some really unusual circumstances for that to happen.
And did you find the mouse? Did you find the mouse with it as well, or did you just throw that in there just to make it more complete?
The mouse was in that clearance center at Goodwill. It was in a Ziploc baggie. There was this desiccated, just mummified rat in a baggie, and everybody knows that I like macabre stuff over there, so they always hand me the stuff they find that's weird. And somebody said, "Hey, you want a freeze-dried rat?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Naturally, right?
It went with the cat really well. I think it's a cool combination.
I'm checking out Pickles.
We actually have a call coming in on line 1. Are you down to take a caller, James?
Sure.
All right, line 1. Line 1.
Well, hello there. This is Waylon Wilford Woods.
Hey, what's going on, Waylon? You're on with James.
Yes, buddy. I've been listening to the interview in its entirety. May I ask the gentleman a few questions?
Go ahead. Is that cool with you, sir?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Earlier last year, I had the misfortune of having a wild coyote enter my domicile. It refused to leave, no matter my efforts, and it even started attacking me at one point. Yes, Buddy recalls.
Yeah, he was attacked by a coyote. He's been calling into it. This is one of our most loyal callers. He actually caught rabies.
I'm sorry, that's not funny, but yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of abnormal, if you like abnormal things, then Waylon would be right up your alley.
Yeah, Waylon sounds pretty cool. What was his question?
It's my arm, and I was stricken with the howl of the beast.
Yes, rabies. It's a nicer way of saying rabies.
Yep.
But what was your question?
So that brings me to my query. When I finally removed the beast from my premises, I considered having it preserved. Have you ever preserved a coyote or a beast of similar stature?
No, I'm a dog person, man. I draw the line at anything that resembles a dog. But they do a thing now where they vacuum freeze-dry pets, and I'm sure they could do a coyote. It takes a big vacuum chamber, and it takes like 6 months. But they can actually vacuum freeze-dried your cat, your dog, and it'll stay looking exactly the same. And, yeah, it's a freaky-deaky thing. I don't do it myself. I don't have the money to put into one of those, but, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're into that, that's fine. You know what I mean? But personally, I don't think I'd want to see my dogs after. I don't know.
I like weird stuff, but that's a little too much for me too.
I'm glad we can all say that, but fuck cats. Cats are we're totally fine with cats.
You can see on the website. I shouldn't say this I'm going to get a lot of blowback, but there's a veterinary supply place that thinks I'm a school, and they actually sell me cats for dissection and pregnant sheep uteruses, and it's pretty interesting, the stuff that I can get online.
Yeah, I was checking out Pickles, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, Pickles is one of the cats in the jars that my daughter took a liking to, and that's her pet cat.
Yeah.
All the fun, none of the smell.
Yeah, very, very low responsibility, I bet, to take care of Pickles.
No, you just got to top off the alcohol every 6 months. That's about it.
Quite interesting, thank you, sir. As I mentioned, I did have rabies, but I've since recovered, and I've taken to playwriting.
I can see that's an obvious jump.
Yeah, he's been working on, he's been doing like a one-man show. This guy comes from a very wealthy family, and
as ever, Buddy undersells me. It's more than a one-man show, it's a performance. It's an expression of who I am.
Yeah, but you called it a one-man show at one point. You were the one that said that.
In honor of your appearance today on the WDUM, sir, I've prepared a song. Would you be so kind as to listen to it?
Sure.
Oh,
just
jeez.
heads up, this
Yeah, we don't know. We don't have responsibility for this guy.
Cowboy hat, black of course, white shirt, bolo tie, my 500-pound gut hanging over my tight cowboy jeans. Let's go. Well, he's preserved many a being, and small animals are bound to keep on dying. And he's got one more dead common house rat. But he's not going to let that get him down. You're not going to bring down the taxidermist. Okay.
Came up with this fast, Waylon.
Here we go, and we're dancing to... And he doesn't kill the rodents he's dissecting, and the bones that he must sever. And he's got one more lizard to sell at the mall counter. But he's not going to let that stop him, no. You're never going to stop the taxidermist. Okay. We're joined by some gunfighters on the stage. And now a 16-foot preserved possum with a cowboy hat on its head is being stilted out to the stage, carried by men and women. Oh, and it's dancing to the right and left in the stage. Everybody that's watching is joining in. We're passing out small token bird heads that have been preserved by James the taxidermist before, of course, and everyone's enjoying it, and we're laughing, and we're dancing, and we're dancing. Come on, we're going to bring it on back.
He paints quite a picture.
And he's gone past the point of caring about all these Peter Snowflakes whose posts he's sharing. And he's got one more flag on Craigslist. But he's not going to let that get him down, because no one can ever bring down the taxidermist. And two large moose heads with sexy rocket legs walk out now with cowboy hats. They're swaying and swaying. We've got scalpels. We're dancing, spotlights. I forgot to mention this is all a Doc Weston themed saloons. What does everybody think?
Jeez, Waylon.
Man.
Oh, that's cool, but I don't do taxidermy. I'm more of a pickler.
It's more of a pickler, Waylon.
Yeah, James the pickler, not James the taxidermist.
Yeah, I do appreciate the time for the song. Talk to you soon, lads.
All right, Waylon, take it easy, man.
Yeah, speaking of formaldehyde poisoning, I think maybe some of our callers has.
What happened to the Allman Brothers anyway?
What'd you say? What happened to the Allman Brothers?
Yeah, what happened to the Allman Brothers, man? I mean, they're old enough to be in jars. They got to be if they're still kicking.
Is that a thing like celebrity pickling?
That would be cool. That's a museum I would go into. I'm serious. That would be
like celebrities.
Have Michael Jackson in a big freaking jar. Yeah, that would be. I'd pay to go see that.
Yeah, it would be like that. People would would definitely pay to go see them. These preserved.
Remember how they had Austin Powers in that big tube when they had him frozen? You could have all the dead celebrities all naked in their jars, all lined up. It would be cool.
Hey, if they've got
everybody.
If they've got wax museums, I mean, pickled museums would be. I mean, there's definitely room for that.
They have one in Russia.
I bet.
The Great was really into this kind of stuff. They got a whole museum of fetuses and all kinds of stuff in jars over by the Hermitage or something in St. Petersburg.
I was gonna make a China joke, but felt like it was gonna be too obvious. But no, turns out, yeah, Russia's doing that actual thing. Good for them.
Yeah, most of this isn't dissection though, and the most I made what was it? Unicorn fetuses. And the way you make a unicorn fetus is you take a pregnant, pig fetus, a pig uterus. They'll send it to you, a pregnant pig uterus. And you got to open it up and you get all the little piggies out. And then you let them dry. You can't let them dry too fast because their heads will cave in. But you let them slowly dry. And then you Dremel a little hole in their forehead. You put a seashell in there and you've got a fetal unicorn.
You say they'll sell them to you. Who sells
Where do
I
you go?
can't give my secret away completely, but it's a place that they sell to like veterinary colleges and things like that to for the things they need to teach with, teaching tools, I guess you would call them. And you can get cats that have been put in formalin, you can get pig organs, you can get sheep organs, you can get cow eyeballs, you can get all kinds of freaky deaky things.
Wow.
Now,
And this is all stuff that they would just turn into like dog food or something if it wasn't being used, right?
Well, I guess the cats or stuff, they must contract with, shelters or something, and get them by, the ton or something like that. I don't know. I mean, if you can take an animal that's going to be thrown away, I mean, I'm not promoting cruelty to animals at all. Everything I do is with animals that are already dead, and, that's a big part of my ad. It says that. But if you can take a cat that, didn't have a chance at life and get it to a veterinary college where it can teach with dissection, then at least the poor cat didn't die in vain, kind of, sort of.
I totally agree with that.
It sounds like that's a point of frustration for you. That hey, just because I'm into this macabre hobby doesn't mean that I want to actually hurt anything. We actually had we actually had a really talented. I know you said you're not a taxidermist, but a similar field, I would guess. We actually had in our hometown, we had a really talented taxidermy guy in town who unfortunately committed suicide by taxidermying himself. But he had the same issue where he's just like, hey, listen, I'm not actually killing these animals, and he brought up the same thing, that you just did, this could be used for education and so on and so forth, so it's good to hear you that you have that same professional creed.
That whole situation too is that guy, when he taxidermied himself, was that people didn't realize he had done it, and he was sitting there on the couch for a week, and people said, oh, he's in a pissy mood, he's not talking to anybody.
Yeah, and it's just...
Well, I end my ad that way. I get flagged a lot because people think it's like cruel to animals. I buy dead things. But the end of the ad says, Crystal Tree Huggers, quit flagging me. I kill nothing. All the creatures I use have died already and would be thrown away if I did not preserve them.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of explains
Would you say like you're honoring those animals?
Well, did you say honoring? I don't know if honoring is the right word. I mean, I'm kind of hijacking the noble process and making cheap knickknacks out of them.
I fucking love the honesty, dude. It's so great. I mean, I think it's fucking awesome. I was just expecting a simple yes, but that's even better.
Yeah, me too. We got another call coming in, Sam.
All right.
Hey, Percy, what's going on, man? You're on with James. He's not a taxidermist. He's a pickler. I'm surprised you're calling him, Percy. You don't seem like the taxidermist or pickling type.
Yeah, well, you're spot on the money with that one, buddy. The closest I've ever come to dissecting an animal was when Mrs. Crumb and I carved a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, so what's your question for James today, Percy?
On the topic of passions, as Buddy can attest, I was formerly the drummer for a real rock and roll band. I'd really appreciate it if you could tell me how you divide your time between work, family, and your passion.
Oh, my daughter's pretty much grown up, so, there's not a lot I need to do there. She's 19 and my other daughter's 30. And my significant other spends most of the time in her room. So I'm in the living room and, sitting there watching TV, smoke a bowl, make some art,
That's what we're trying to do right now, that exact thing. Same process, too.
Speaking of a noble effort.
Percy?
Yeah, thanks for the advice. I'll let some callers phone in, too. Thanks, James and Buddy. And Percy, out.
Have a good one, Percy.
I've actually got some more questions for James. Pickling is a pretty small field. I can't imagine there's too many of you folks. But who would you say is the Michael Jordan of pickling?
Oh, this lady from, if you look it up on Instagram, I believe it's called Screaming Sirens.
Screaming Sirens?
Yeah, I think it's Screaming Sirens. Hang on, I got I'll see if I can find it up here too.
Okay.
She's traveling with the Curiosities Expo. It's a traveling show they do around the country. They let local artists in, and there's traveling artists that go with them.
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing a taxidermy class for two-headed ducklings. And I've seen her Instagram page, and she sells tentacles and all kinds of really cool stuff in jars and glass globes. And I think she's, I'm Michael Jordan of pickling there.
That's great. And who would you say is the LeBron James of pickling?
Oh man, that's that's getting specific. I don't know that many picklers. I mean, there's not many people that do what I do. I just know that Screaming Sirens lady from her Reputation.
Dang, good for her.
So she gets access to all the cool octopuses and stuff. I'm landlocked out here. I gotta, I get the freeze-dried cats and stuff, but she gets all the cool tentacles, and I think it's better to get it fresh at the source. Formaldehyde really it will bleach out a lot of the color. I had some really cool red and black and white snakes, and it just completely bleached out the red. They still looked really cool. One of them's in that jar you can see on my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't see any of the red at all.
How much income do you get from your shop at the mall? That's pretty impressive. I mean, for a hobby, it's pretty cool that you got.
I make about $500 a month on top of what I pay for supplies.
No
and stuff.
shit.
It's not much. I mean, I could ramp it up and sell a lot more, but I just do it for fun, something to do. We have a thriving movie industry out here in Albuquerque. It'd be cool. Actually, they just filmed a Ewan McGregor movie where it's a road trip movie, and they had some kind of eclectic tow truck driver that had an array of weird toys on her windshield, on her dashboard, and some of those toys are mine. I actually got a movie credit off of that. It's some movie coming out next year. I don't even know what the title is.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I don't just do pickling. I do like found art sculptures and just anything that I can get my hands on to make something out of. Right now I'm doing a series of dinosaurs that have doll eyes instead of heads. Whoa, sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. It's
Are you guys still there?
It usually is. Maybe I should go pickle them. I won't do that.
I'm a big time dog person, man. I could never do that.
And again, that was our conversation with the taxidermist, James. A great conversation. Sam, that was pretty cool to hear again. I miss that guy.
Yeah, again, like our old friend Sydney, doors open whenever James wants. We're all more than happy to have him.
Absolutely. Coming up next is an interview that appeared on our anniversary show. The 1-year anniversary of WDUM, we were joined by 2 members of the band Vague Perception. The entire band was supposed to come on that day, but they weren't able to. So it was just Bomber, who's the singer, and Roger, who plays guitar for the band. Sam, you weren't in studio with me for this call. And when this interview originally aired, it was on our anniversary show, so it was spliced up and kind of pieced throughout the episode. We're going to play it for you in a condensed version continuously. You'll be able to hear the flow of the interview. Vague Perceptions do a few original songs, acoustic for the show. It was a blast having those guys on.
Really good to see Vague Perception go all out right in studio too.
Yeah, that was sick. Scooter was headbanging, I was headbanging, you were headbanging, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
We were it was a great time. Let's throw that interview that first appeared on our anniversary show with Bomber and Roger of Vague Perceptions. Scooter, you know what to do. And we're back on WDUM. On the phone right now is Bomber and Roger of Rhode Island punk band Vague Perception. How you doing, guys?
All right, how you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. Hey, you guys have a ton of history as a punk band in Rhode Island. How long have you been a band?
Well, the band has been around for 38 years, and I've only been involved for 30. But Roger, the guitar player, is with me here. He was actually a founding member of the band.
Wow.
He's been there from the beginning. 1984, I believe.
Wow, that's awesome. So you guys have been playing a long time. Roger, what are some of your influences?
Wow. I'd say no, I'm really bad at this. I like a lot of Midwestern stuff, like Replacements, or I'm a big Solar Sound fan. That's another one.
I love the Replacements.
I'm kind of into that Midwest alt rock, alt country, punk rock sort of stuff.
I know you guys had your drummer was out of commission for a while. Have you guys gotten back to playing live yet?
We have not. Yeah, unfortunately, our drummer Bill was involved in a car crash in January, and he wrecked his hip pretty bad. And obviously, you need your hip to be a drummer. But he's actually he's happy that it's his hi-hat hip as opposed to his bass drum hip. So I guess in the whole scheme of things, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hi-hat, but you need a bass drum.
Yeah, especially in a punk band.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Well, I was bummed out recently because my favorite band of all time, the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, broke up.
Yeah, I saw those guys a couple of times, and that was a great band. I feel bad for the dancing guy because what the hell's he gonna do now?
Yeah, he lives in Rhode Island. I ran into him at a gas station once, and it was kind of embarrassing because my truck at the time had a bunch of Boss Tone stickers on the back, and we pulled up, and he was getting gas right next to me, and when you don't expect to see someone, I didn't expect to see the dancer of my favorite band right there. So I looked and I was like, Ben Carr? He's like, yeah. I kind of went and stood behind my truck to block the stickers. So Vague Perception is on our this is our 1 year episode. We had an awesome interview with Bomber a few months back, which everybody really loved. That kind of kicked off our slew of interviewing people that do a wider range of things. Since we spoke to you last, Bomber, we interviewed this vegan chef guy who said he could talk to coyotes, interviewed a taxidermist from New Mexico, Dixie Chicks cover band. So all kinds of, we've been interviewing all kinds of people, but no one's been able to come on and play a song yet except Waylon Wilford Woods, who calls in often. But are you guys ready to play a song now?
I'm looking forward to our litany of callers. I had a blast doing this last time, and I can't talk to coyotes, but I smoke roaches.
I've had so much that I thought my dogs were talking back to me.
Oh, and yeah. Well, I got a kitty cat between last time we did an interview and now. I got a new black cat that was born on Halloween. So yeah,
awesome.
If I do enough stuff, he talks to me. We have some deep conversations. He's harsh, though. He's harsh. If he don't like something I'm doing, he doesn't hesitate to tell me. You know what, Bomber, that sucks. Maybe you should change that.
Yeah, let's start off with a call. I got someone you spoke to last time. Let's patch line 1.
Hey, buddy, what's going on? It's Ralphie.
What's going on, Ralphie? How you doing, man?
Nothing much, man. Just got back from tour, and I got some big news, so I figured what other place to call than to WDUM.
So Ralphie is a frequent caller to the show. He's also the lead singer of the band Ralphie and the Badger Milk.
That's right, Ralphie and the Badger Milk fame, man. So my big news is, 1, there's no rest for the wicked. So your buddy is going out on a solo acoustic tour starting in May.
Nice.
So I'm kind of putting the set list together for that. And not only that, but I got huge news, and I think your guest might be interested in this news as well. So I have decided that I'm tired of people taking my money for art that they didn't create. So I'm starting my own label, Ralphie Records, okay? And I had to think, right? I had to think, buddy, what is it that sets me apart from the other labels? And then it hit me. All these labels, man, they all have the same type of genre on their label, but not me, not Ralphie Records, man. We're going to have everything. I'm talking indie, pop, rap, bubblegum, shoegaze, grunge, Machine Gun Kelly. I'm talking everything you can think of, man. And I'm looking for new artists, unknown artists, abstract artists, and I think that's where your guests come into play, all right? So let's just say this, I'm going to be listening, and I can consider this a tryout because I'm looking to sign all types of artists, if you know what I'm saying, all right?
Well, I'll tell you what, Ralphie, we are certainly not new, but we are unknown, even in our own state, but that's all right.
Oh, well, I'm telling you, man, I don't think you want to miss out on this opportunity. I'm talking drugs, no drugs. I'm talking girls, poodles, full-size miniature, anything we can get, man. I'm telling you, this is going to be a label above all labels. But I hear you. I hear your hesitation, right? But just so you know, you can maybe expect a call if things go well.
Well, there's no hesitation on my part, my friend. We've been doing this for a long time, and there's no chances that we won't take. And if we fall on our faces, who cares? We've been doing it for 30 years, and in Roger's case, 38 years.
Hey, I appreciate the hustle, man. I'm out there hustling with you. I appreciate it. Hey, but you never know. Maybe you know some guys that might want to come my way, and maybe that'll be the route that we take. So who knows? Anything's possible. I never say no to any type of art or any type of motivation like I'm hearing from yourself. So I appreciate the hustle. But hey, buddy, I got to run. My car's here. I'm meeting with these executives. I might have something lined up with Bagel Bites. So I'm going to be working on that, my brother.
All right, man. I'm really excited for my glass jug whistling band. Finally have some promises.
Dude,
yeah.
Wind against the sails?
That's right. Them? That's right. Wind against the sails.
They're one of my top premier acts that I'm going for. They're going to be through the freaking roof. Oh, my God. All right, buddy. Well, hey, good luck. Guys, keep jamming, keep rocking, man. I love your stuff, all right? I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, man. Take it easy. So that was Ralphie of Ralphie and the Badger Milk going on a solo tour. He actually broke up his band recently. Folks can go back and listen to the last few episodes. He kicked Percy out, or they went on a hiatus. And he's not well informed of how long you guys have been a band, I guess. Probably been a band longer than he's been alive.
Well, you know what? It's funny because our bass player now, our newest member, in fact, between last time I talked to you and now, we have a new bass player. And indeed, the band is older than he is.
That's right. Yeah. That's
so,
I want to come on.
It's nice that he brings in it's always nice to bring in somebody from a different age group with different influences and different background in what he was doing. In fact, he was in a band called the Dirty Birds, which actually won Best Garage Band in Rhode Island in the Motive Magazine Awards. I know we talked about that last time.
Yeah.
I was telling you that we were nominated for Best Live Act. Now we didn't win. But, 38 years in to be nominated, just to even be nominated one of 7 bands for Best Live Act in Rhode Island, that was definitely pretty cool. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to play this year with our drummer being out of commission. So I seriously doubt that we're going to be nominated again this year because if you can't do any live shows, you can't be nominated for Best Live Band. Our reputation is not big enough to carry us over to get a freebie nomination again.
Yeah.
Where some acts in Rhode Island, it's more like a popularity contest. I won't name no names like I told you last time. I won't name no names, but I tell it like it is. And in a lot of things in Rhode Island, it's all a popularity contest of who's friends with who as opposed to, any kind of musical. I'm not going to say people don't have talent, but there's a lot of shit out there. You know that. There's a lot of shit out there.
Yeah.
That ever happened in the music industry? Never. Exactly. You know what, though? I'll say nobody sings to the depths of Kanye or Justin Bieber, so that we got that going for the Rhode Island music scene.
Yeah, or that dude. Did you guys see that guy on? There's like some new American Idol type show. He's from like a country singer. He's originally from Rhode Island.
No, I have not. I'm not a fan of stuff like that. But I mean,
yeah, me neither.
That make it on there, more power to them. I remember Dave Grohl. He made it a good quote saying, if Bob Dylan was singing "Blowing in the Wind" to Jennifer Lopez, he don't think that would have flew. And you know what? He's got a good point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So people think different stuff is good, and that's all good. Think what you think, but we like doing good old American ass-kicking punk rock and roll, and I think that we're very good at it. People seem to like it. we don't make no money doing it, but hey, people like it, and liking, man, that pays my bills.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Because I definitely want to. When you guys do start playing out again, I definitely want to come check out a show one day.
Yeah, well, we're hoping at this point, January 2nd. I mean, not January. June 2nd. Hopefully, is going to be our first show back. We're playing at dusk, and then on June 5th. We're playing at platforms. Once again, I have the first Sunday of every month. So hopefully in June, I mean, we're weren't able to do April and May, but hopefully in June, we'll pick up with the first Sunday of every month again. And then the weekend after that, on June 11th, we're playing at the Parlor. So we got 3 different venues with a bunch of different bands on June 2nd, June 5th, and June 11th, if things go well. And out of all those shows, there's only one other band that's playing one of the shows with us. So other than that, it's going to be all different bands. And we play with all kinds of people, all different genres. And, we certainly don't, I like to put shows together that are not just like, just punk bands or just like hard rock or metal bands, whatever. I like to put shows together that are all various kind of things. That way, if somebody comes and they say, oh, you guys suck. Okay, great. Then hopefully somebody is on the bill that you don't think sucks, and you can't tell that we suck, or if they suck, if you don't come out and see us. So that's the key, is people got to get off their ass and come out and support live, original, local music. And especially with all the crap that's been going on for the last couple of years, the venues really need people to come out. Come out, buy a beer, buy a drink, grab something to eat, but most importantly, support bands, buy a friggin' T-shirt, buy a CD, do whatever you got to do so that these guys can keep doing what they got to do. Because, we do it for ourselves, but it's nice when people enjoy what you do.
Hell yeah, man. So you put together, I know you do your own solo stuff too, but you also put together the shows for Vague Perception?
Yes. I put shows together, and pretty much if I put a show together, I always put my band on it, because why not? Somebody's got to book us.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Exactly. So I have a good time putting shows together, and I like playing with bands that we've never played with before. And I hope to continue that this year, even more than last year. Last year was my first year doing it, of putting the shows together at platforms. And we really had a lot of killer bands and had a lot of good times doing it. But like I said, unfortunately, people got to get off their asses and get out and support people like us. And like I said, if there's no venues to play at, then there's nothing to do. So people got to support venues. There are people talking about, oh, you got to support this business, support this pizza place, support this, whatever. Yeah, support the pizza place. But man, support platforms.
Yep.
Support Dusk. Support the Parlor. These venues need it. They got a lot of people working for them. They got bartenders. They got sound guys. They got door guys. They got lighting guys. They got a lot of people that need these venues to be open, let alone have a place for people like me and Roger to play. These people, this is their lives. They got bills to pay. They need shit to be able to do stuff. And if people don't come, venues are going to close. I mean, venues have been ravaged, and it's a sad thing. It's, people didn't get off their asses before COVID. And, and there's always people complaining about there's nothing to do. There's always something to do. I'll tell you what, you go on any kind of website and you look up, there's always something going on. The Atlanta music scene is alive and well, and there are venues out there that are trying. But if people don't go, it's not going to be alive and well, and there's going to be no venues left. See, well, that's the thing too. Like when I put shows together, if I don't make any money, if people don't come and they don't pay a cover charge, then I can't pay the bands. So I mean, I love to tell bands, yeah, everybody's going to get paid. No one's going to get rich, but I mean, if I get money from the door, any band that plays on the bill, we split it up. If I make money, everybody makes money. If I make no money, people don't make money. And then if bands don't make money, they get discouraged. But there again, like I said, most of the bands that I play with, they know we're not in this to make money. We're in it to have fun. And all the bands I book, they know that. A majority of the bands I book, and there's some bands that I would like to book that I can't, only because I can't promise them what they want. I'm not going to bullshit anybody. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And You know, if a band can go play a show and make money, or they can come play with us and they'll have a blast, they'll have a better time with us, I guarantee it. But making money, I mean, that's everybody needs it. So if somebody can make some money and they can do a show to make money or come have fun with us, I mean, I think you should come have fun with us, but everybody doesn't feel that way.
So before you guys do your first song, and then we'll bring some more callers on. Before you guys do that, where can people find your music online? I was trying to. I've listened on YouTube and before, but are you guys on Spotify or anything, or should people just buy the music directly from you guys?
Well, we're trying. We're actually, before Bill got in his car crash, we actually started recording. We're trying to record a new EP now as we speak. But right now, YouTube is definitely the best place to. There's a bunch of live stuff with us on there. With Brian, our guitar player that passed away in July of 2019. There's lots of stuff on there with him.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of stuff. There's also a Vague Perception Bandcamp page.
Okay.
With all kinds of stuff. There's many albums on Bandcamp.
Catalog on there from way back, more or less, give or take.
So
on Bandcamp,
is
okay.
The place to go. And YouTube for sure. But yeah, we don't have anything on Spotify or anything yet. But hopefully when we get this new EP released, we will go to stuff like Spotify. And unfortunately, the Bandcamp page I was talking about, there's stuff there. Brian made that Bandcamp page, and obviously Brian is no longer with us. So when we finally get the new EP done, I'm going to have to set up a brand new Bandcamp page for Vague Perception so that people will be able to get the new EP that we're going to record. And it's going to be great. We're going to do some songs that we've been doing for a long time. We're going to do some new songs that we've never recorded before. And we're very much looking forward to the EP coming out. And I think it's going to be great. And I know that we're classified as a punk band, and I have no issue with that. But we got some stuff on here that definitely would not qualify as punk rock. Because, like I said, I've been in this field for 30 years, Roger 38 years, so...
I don't think we've ever fit into any category.
Exactly.
For the time we've been doing what we've been doing.
But we've never fit into a category, but now we're even doing more stuff like...
I should say more like at the time we were doing what we were doing. We never really fit into a category or tried to...
well, never tried to. We just...
any certain audience. It was kind of always just like we did.
Your own category.
Yeah, we do what we do, and there you go. I mean, we don't want to be trapped by any, be defined by any genre. And the thing too is, some people look down at you when you say you're in a punk band or you're in a metal band. And not everybody, but we talked about this before. Like, there's people, oh, you're in a punk band, and it's like, well, yeah, we are in a punk band, but it's much more than that. And nothing against a straight up punk band. I mean, whatever. But I mean, we're definitely more than just 3 chords in a cloud of dust. You know what I mean?
Well, that sounds awesome. And you guys want to do a song, and then we'll take a couple more calls?
Yeah, we're going to do a song, Brian Rockgut, that he was the guitar player that passed away in July of 19, like I said. This is a song that he wrote back in 1987.
All right.
And we still play it. It's a little ditty called Brain Dead. So, a little ditty called Brain Dead, written by Mr. Brian Rockgut Louise in 1987.
Awesome.
Think about money, I think about love, I think about sex, I think about drugs, I think about problems, I think about pain, I think about the reason, wake up every day, never know the answer, finding it so hard, work to live forever, can only go so far, work to be perfect, struggle every day, how much does it matter when you're lying in the grave? I just want to be brain dead, what is thinking for? I just want to be brain dead, I want to think no more. Think about caring, I think about life. I think about dying when I live tonight. Think about my family, I think about my friends. I think for all these, and the very end. The fate we determined you would have to will. We'll be seeing our children overkill. Think about money, I think of how it's spent. I gotta come up with the motherfucking rent. I just want to be brain dead. What is thinking for? I just want to be brain dead. I I want to think no more. I just want to be brain dead. What is thinking for? I just want to be brain dead. I want to think no more. Think about money, I think about love, I think about sex, I think about drugs, I think about problems, I think about peace, I think about the reason to wake up every day. Never know the answer, why they're so hard. Work you live forever, can only go so far. Work you bed perfect, struggle every day. How much does it matter when you're lying in your grave? I just want to be brain dead. What is thinking for? I just want to be brain dead. I want to drink some more.
Hell yeah, that was awesome, man. Hell yeah, that was awesome.
Well, thank you. I mean, not bad. I mean, we don't practice acoustic stuff too much. I mean, just me and Roger alone, we don't do that too often. But hey, that was good. I hope it came out all right. And that's live rock and roll for you. So there you go.
Hell yeah. That would be an awesome theme song. Can we use that for a theme song on WDUM sometime?
By all means, my friend.
Oh, that would be awesome. That reminds me of, you guys ever play with the Swingin' Utters?
We have not.
I've
swung from some utters before, though.
I was gonna say you guys, but they sound like you guys. You've been around longer. There's a song that vibe kind of reminded me. That was badass, man. Great job, guys.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. We actually have another call coming in, line 2. You guys ready for it?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, buddy, it's Mr. Bowers.
Hey, Mr. Bowers, what's going on?
Guy? I'm calling for my niece's wedding. I slipped away to listen to the show in the car for a little bit.
Nice. Your cousin's wedding? Your niece's?
Yeah, what do you go? Who's that you got on? Who's that? Vague Perceptions? It's that bomber fellow? Hey, you guys play any weddings?
Do you guys play any weddings?
Yeah, give me too much for you now. Yeah, all right. Well, I just wanted to call in and ask a question. Bomber, I spoke to you on the last show. Hey, well, as a band, what was the best show you guys ever played? And I'll leave you with that.
Well, we played with a band called VAT, a band that's from Boston, and we played at a place called the Midway Cafe in Boston. And I'll tell you what, that VAT band, they were absolutely great. And we played last on a 4-band bill, and the 3 bands before us really blew me away. So I always go into every show with the mindset of no band is going to blow our band off the stage. I don't care who you are. And it ain't happened yet. But when we play with bands that are good, that I respect, it brings out the best in me. And when I'm having a good time, obviously the band feeds on that, and they're having a good time. Then I feed on that, and I have a better time. And the people that are there, they feed on it, and everybody has a good time.
Do you guys ever play any weddings?
We have not played any weddings. It's definitely not our forte. But like I said, I mean, if you ever want to get your mother-in-law out of there real quick, we can play a wedding. And the mother-in-law and Grandma Sue, they'll get out of there real quick.
I'll keep that in mind. I'm getting married in October, so I'll have to keep that.
Well, there you go. If you want to clear the room real quick,
It's not true. We have played a wedding.
Oh, well, okay. Well, Roger's saying that is not true. So Roger, well, there you go.
We played a punk rock wedding.
Oh, you know what? You know what? We did not. Right. You know what? Our friend in another Rhode Island band called the Inhumanoids, the best goddamn band in Rhode Island, I'll tell you. There you go. That's saying something. I'm even saying I'm in Vague Perception, and I love the Inhumanoids. But yeah, so we did actually play a wedding with a bunch of ass-kicking Rhode Island bands. So Roger is absolutely correct. So we'd love to do it again. And the great thing about the wedding we played is nobody recoiled in horror because everybody knew what they were in for.
Oh, that must have been a great time too.
Oh, it was absolutely great. We played outside. It was a beautiful day. And then afterwards, everybody swam in the swimming pool and had some beers and smoked some of those roaches I was talking about earlier. And, yeah, the hot tub was involved. So lots of good times with a bunch of good people at the wedding, for sure.
Excellent.
In fact, we're going to play tonight. You know, obviously our drummer's out of commission, but the bass player and singer for the Inhumanoids, bass player extraordinaire, John Webslave, he's actually going to play the drums for us tonight. So me and Roger and our bass player, Adam, can just jam and have a good time. Because I'll tell you what, not playing is not good for my mental health. That's for damn sure. So,
you guys just jamming, or are you playing somewhere tonight?
Oh no, we're just gonna play. We're gonna play at a private, you know, the band practice place for the Inhumanoids. So Inhumanoids are gonna do a set, and then Chris, John Webslave, the bass player for the Humanoids, and he's gonna get behind the kit and play the drums. So just me and Roger and Adam can have some fun, because my therapy is screaming. I got to run around and scream in a microphone. That's my physical therapy and my mental health therapy.
Must be like meditative, almost, like you said.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like it. I mean, I don't look forward to the day where I can't do this. In fact, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I want to have a heart attack and die on stage. That would be the best way to go. And before, when Brian was alive, he was the singer in the band before I joined, and he didn't leave the band. He played the guitar or bass, so he was a singer before me. But then he stayed in the band. So I used to tell Brian, if I have a heart attack and drop dead on stage, just drag my carcass out of the way, and then he could sing the songs and finish up the show. But unfortunately now, Brian is no longer with us. So, I want to drop dead on stage, but I'd like to drop dead now after the last song is done. Then I can drop dead.
There you go.
See, I look out for the people in the audience. I'd hate to drop dead after the first 2 or 3 songs and leave them hanging and wanting more. So at least if I die at the end, everybody can go away happy.
What about you, Roger? You don't want to die on stage, do you?
Hey, if you're gonna die, which we're all gonna do, you might as well be doing something you love, right? So what's the difference?
Yeah.
Honestly.
So there you go. You know what? Maybe me and Roger could die at the same show.
That would be... I can see the Providence Journal headline now.
Yeah, yes, half of Egg Reception drops dead. That would be
Oh shit! You guys want to do another song?
Yeah, we can do another song. Like I said, we're not really we're not adept at doing this acoustic stuff, but you know what? We also never say no. So yeah, we're gonna do another song for you. A little song called "Colder Than Winter's Kiss," and this is another song that was written by Mr. Brian Rockout Louise.
Cool.
And a little song called "Colder Than Winter's Kiss."
All right.
I'm gonna do it. Coast winter blues in my blood was no red moon. Wind chill factor burns my eyes. Think about her welcome thighs. Colder than a witch's tit. 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 It is cold, river running strong. Tap it back up, I can't wait so long. It's 23 and my heat just died. I'm deep inside, so it's snow outside. Colder than a witch's tit. 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 Cold, 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 cold.
Think about her welcome sign. Colder than I wish it. 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 Cold, 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 cold. Colder than a witch's titty in a
Yeah. Hell yeah, that was awesome, guys.
Hell yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys. That was great. That's
Hell
going to be
yeah, like I
stuck
said,
in my head
we
for the
don't
rest
get
of the
to do
day.
acoustic stuff too much, so yeah, that's awesome. That's yes, indeed.
Well, all right, guys. Thank you very much for coming on the show for our 1-year anniversary. I'd love to definitely have you guys on again, maybe for the full band. I'm definitely going to come see you guys when you start playing.
Awesome. Thank you. It's an honor.
Sounds good. Yeah, well, I appreciate you having me back again, and I'm glad that Roger joined me this time. And next time, yeah, it'd be great to have the whole band here. That would be awesome. And by all means, come check us out, and that would be great.
Hell yeah. Do you guys do any, do you guys like the band Fishbone?
I do.
You ever hear Ghetto Soundwave?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you specific songs, but I mean, I like all kinds of stuff, and I know what I have heard, I have liked.
If you guys ever, that's like the outro song, but we can't use like that licensed music forever if the show ever, if you guys ever wanted to cover that song, that would be so badass.
Yeah, okay. What's the name of the song?
Ghetto Soundwave.
All right, so Ghetto Soundwave. So yeah, we will check that out because we're definitely ghetto and we definitely Soundwave.
It's a great song. I think you guys could put a really cool spin on it too.
Yeah, we do. We definitely are mostly an original band, but we do a couple of cool covers. We have a good time doing some covers, and we certainly, the covers that we do, we certainly try to put our own spin on them because we don't want to get bored. And I'll tell you one thing: you'll never come to a Beg Reception show and hear "Come On Feel the Noise" or "We're Not Gonna Take It." So that's always a plus.
There's so many better. I mean, never mind. There's not so many better Twisted Sister songs. I was gonna say there may be one better one, but
I'm with you. Yeah. There's not too many rock and Twisted Sister songs.
No,
we don't want to piss off the Twisted Sister fans. And I love Dee Snider as a person.
Yeah.
That, not Twisted Sister's not my cup of tea. That's for sure.
Well, it's one of those things. Like, do we need to hear that song again? Like, no, we don't need to hear any of this.
That's exactly. We do not need to hear that song again. It's like Hotel California or basically any Eagles song. I could go the rest of my life without hearing an Eagles song again, and I would be happy.
All right, guys. Roger, Bomber, thank you guys so much on the WDUM live 1-year anniversary show. Really appreciate you guys coming on. Check them out on Bandcamp, and we'll keep you guys posted on the show whenever Bomber reaches out with some news or anything else. Great job, guys. Thanks again.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us, and we certainly look forward to doing it again, my friend.
Awesome. Nice to meet you, Roger. Take it easy, guys.
You too. Thank you. All right, have a good one.
So from a punk rock band that's been around for 30 years to a Nigerian refugee, this was another special interview. We were joined by our music host on the show, Misty. She came on to help us interview Enyika. She's a Nigerian refugee. She's writing a book called Excuse My African. She's got a great sense of humor. She took some phone calls from some of our listeners, and overall, it was just a great experience. What did you think of having Enyika on the show, Sam?
Definitely broke the mold, and in terms of the characters that we normally have, in the sense that like she was, I feel like maybe her story might be a little bit more important than the guy that we try to get, who was selling a couch on Craigslist.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
And I just hope that I don't know what she told her friends and family about the podcast that she was a guest on, but hopefully we delivered.
Yeah, unfortunately, I never heard back from Enyika again after this interview. So, Scooter, play that last interview. This is the last one for the night, folks. Hope you enjoyed this look back at the best of our interviews here on the WDUM. Sam and I had a great time looking back with you. Enyika, when we reached out to you, I reached out because you told me that you were a storyteller, that you were a writer, that you were a listener, and that you had a lot of stories to tell because you've journeyed a lot in your life. You're not originally from this country. Where are you from originally?
No, Nigeria.
Awesome. How old were you when you moved over to the United States?
I moved over here like 7 years ago. So let me say I was like 31. Yes.
Yeah, that is a first for our show, by the way, Enyika. We've never had anyone outside of the country before, so it's really exciting for us. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you do day to day for a living?
For now, I'm basically just a stay-at-home mom. Just usually just writing, brainstorming, and once in a while I pick up shifts as an interpreter because I'm Igbo. Is a part of Nigeria. Is a state in Nigeria. So I get to interpret for schools, hospitals, from Igbo to English and then English to Igbo. That's my native language.
Wow, that must be pretty interesting. You must find yourself in some interesting situations as a translator.
Yes. Yes.
That's an important job though, because someone might be stranded without you.
Oh yeah, the language barrier. We fill the gap.
How long have you been?
I was just wondering, has she ever been in any dangerous types of situations with her as a translator?
Yes, because sometimes some of the sentences or the words in English, or we don't really have how to interpret it. So we kind of get stuck sometimes, and just because you can't just interpret it using English, you just have to take summarizing stuff to make sense.
Right.
That's what we basically do.
I understand.
We can't just do word to word, word to word, word to word. No, we just summarize the whole thing. Yes.
So, Enyika, one of the things that you also told me is that one day you want to write a book, or are you writing that book now?
Yes. Yes, I've started, but then I'm just off and on, because I have a 6-month-old baby that I just.
Congratulations!
Oh, congratulations!
That's another story, though. Thank you.
And you wanted to call the book "Excuse My African"?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because one, I'm African, and secondly, there are things people don't really know about Africans, especially we the Nigerians. Even while we're here, we kind of struggle to fit in most times, but people don't usually know about that because there are things Africans don't really like sharing or telling people because we want to belong. So yeah, there's a lot people don't know about us.
Really? What's an example of something that you wouldn't like to share with people that we like to give out freely?
Yeah, okay. Africans in diaspora, coming here, first of all, we struggle with trying to fit in. We struggle with the food, trying to fit in. Let me use myself as an example. Like when I got here, back home, you don't have to have any kind of paper or any kind of authorization to get a job. You can just walk into Nigeria, walk into an office with your resume and look for a job. But right here, there's a process. You go through a lot of process. Like everything is in order here. And they don't do it back home. You do okay, my uncle works in this company. Whether you're qualified or not, you can go get a job because you have somebody in there. But here, it's not like that. Most times, it's either you're qualified or not back home, whether you're qualified for a job or not. But the fact that you have somebody that is related to you, a family member, they will get you in there, you know. But when you come here, you have to at least have some experience, or people are willing to train you. You have to at least have some certifications. So these are a few things we don't really know here. And then again, the food. Most times we try to belong, but we don't really, we have to like find a way to actually know how to eat the food here. Like if you go to the restaurant, because we don't want to feel left out. We don't want people to laugh at us. We just try to that, oh yeah, we can eat that. But then we don't know how to like go about all that. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Like you don't know how to like eat the foods that we have, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a process. Like when I got here, I had to learn. We had to learn. And one thing with Africans is we stick to our food. We don't like varieties. We don't like trying out things. Till now, we're still like that for me. Like it's very difficult. But when I go outside, yeah, I try to. But when I go outside, I try to like belong because I don't want people to feel like, oh, you've been here for a while. How long have you been here again? And you don't know this food. So I try to learn. You know,
Most people aren't thinking that. Most people. I want you to know that. Most people are glad you're here.
Yep.
I mean, that's really true. That just touched my heart. That made me sad to hear you say that, because you shouldn't have to change who you are for us. You're wonderful in the way you are, and we're blessed to have you.
Right.
And I can't wait to hear all about it in your book.
Enyika, we actually have a call coming in. Are you willing to take a call?
Okay, sure.
Hey, what's going on? You're on with WDUM.
Oh my God, is this Buddy?
Hey, what's going on, man? Who's on the line?
Oh my God, this is Dawson, but all my friends call me D-Train.
What's going on, Dawson?
Oh, you can call me D-Train.
What's up, D-Train? You're on with
Nothing
Sam,
much.
Misty, and Enyika.
Oh my God, this is such an amazing show. What a bunch of superstars on the show tonight. I listen every single episode. It's unbelievable. One question that I just had to call in to ask about was, you mentioned, writing a book, and I was just wondering, like, what would you write your book about? What do you feel would be something that you need to get out to the world?
Yes, I need them to know that the Africans in diaspora, actually, when they get here, things are not really that easy for us. We kind of like struggle to meet up with the people here. Like when I came here, I had to I thought everything is like Africa. Oh, I can just walk into a store and get a job. But nobody told me anything. I just came here. I got so confused that I didn't know my left from my right. I didn't, because of course I'm a refugee, like I'm an asylum seeker, and I'm still on the process. So you see, I didn't know that. Oh, I need to get a lawyer and I need to work to pay the lawyer, so that I can have a stay here, like work authorization and all of that. I didn't know all about that. I had to clean houses for people in the apartment. I had to watch kids so they can pay me, so I can pay my lawyer. So these are the things and more that you get to see in the book, or the stories I get to tell if I come back on the show, which I would love to come back. So yeah, these are the things that I would like to share with people out there, the process so far.
Oh my God, I have chills. That is so inspiring. I tell you that, yes. You write that book, I'll be the first one in line to buy it. I'll tell you that.
Thank you.
Well, I just want to say God bless you all. God bless WDUM and Sweet Potato Pie. This has been a dream come true.
Hey, D-Train.
Yeah.
D-Train, thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate it. Definitely call back again. All right, buddy?
Oh, I will be happy to, buddy.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Toodaloo.
I love a good D-Train call.
Yeah, that was a nice call from D-Train.
Yeah.
What did he say his real name was?
Oh,
what was it, Scooter? Scooter, what was it? Oh, Dawson is his
Oh.
real name. Yeah, I haven't seen him on the message boards. So, Anyika, you came to this country, and like you said, it was kind of tough to find your way around.
Yes.
You have a lot to write about in that area. Do you write any fiction as well?
I'm more of like nonfiction, but then I have a lot of, in fact, both. But my story is going to be undiluted. Like I have nothing to,
Yeah.
it's raw.
That's
Right.
awesome.
I think that's the way it should be.
Yes.
I feel like you have such a powerful story. I mean,
yes.
I hear in your voice when you talk about it. It makes me feel like I was there with you. You know.
I know, because people were like, "Why don't you just go and do the podcasting and tell your story?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Anyika, how many people have you told about doing this podcast with?
It's just my family.
Okay.
They were like, "Why don't you go there, do a full podcast and tell your story that people all over will buzz because of the story, because it's undiluted. Like a lot of emotions will fly back, a lot of things like people really connect to it. Because some Africans, it's like they're waiting for one person to come forward and say it as it is, because it's going to blow a lot of minds, because people really don't actually know. And I actually came to this country because I was running away. I actually ran away from, not running away, I came here because I wanted to be alive. I don't know if people heard of you've heard of there's this group of people back home in Nigeria that they're bad gangs. They kill, they bomb people and all of that. So yeah, that's why I came to the US.
Are you going to show your
life and that of my family?
Yeah. Are you going to show your when we publish this episode, are you going to share with your friends and family?
Oh yeah, people want to see them. A lot of people.
Perfect. Yeah, we want to get your story out there.
Yes.
Awesome. So
I really want to get it out there. Yes.
Is this gonna be a are you taking us on a journey with you through your immigration? Is that what this is? Are you gonna okay. I think that's going to be so. I have chills.
Yes. From day one to this present time till today.
With your beautiful 6-month-old.
No, it's gonna, because each time I even tell my immediate family the story, like they know about it, we're like, this story is gonna blow off. Like if you get people that will support you to put it out there, people will. Like they won't stop talking about it because it's undiluted. There are hidden stories. It's like you're connecting back home. You're connecting here and back home. People don't really know much about what happens when Africans come to the US, the process, how they try to survive, and all of that, what they do, and their success stories, their downfalls, and all of that, how they started the immigration process. I haven't seen my family for 7 years now because I can't go home.
Oh gosh, I was going to ask if you came alone or if you just came in with the translation job. I'm sorry about that.
I just came in and filed for asylum so that I can have a stay, so I don't have to go back.
Yeah,
because me going back means exactly. So I can't go back. So that's just it. And I haven't seen my mom in like 7 years because the last time she came here for a surgery, she overstayed, and I think she's on 10 years ban. So yeah.
Wow.
So
how are you?
Sorry about that.
Hey, you might have already answered this, and I'm sorry if you did. But how are you able to? Are you able to stay in contact with them? How do you stay in touch?
They call, like I get to talk to them, like because there's this app they call Boss Revolution, where you can connect, like you can call people back home.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's like Skype or something like that.
We chat. Yeah, all those stuff. Thank God it's 21st century and all of that. And coming here, I had to reconnect. I found my elder sister here because I haven't seen her in years.
Oh.
I didn't even know how to. So when I came here, I don't know. God willing, we reconnected, and so I'm currently staying with her.
So you're not
wait.
alone. So I'm so happy.
So wait, how did I didn't know that your older sister got here before you did. How much time had passed between you two arriving?
Something years. Yeah, she's been here for like 20-something years.
Wow.
Because I'm the last of the house, so she's my senior. I'm just like a baby where she is. So yeah, even while we're back home, she's usually in school, and I'm not getting to see her. So when she came here, so it made it more difficult. I just knew I had a sister in America, but I haven't seen her for years. So when I came here, things happened, and thank God, like I said, for phones, for Facebook, and all of that. So we connected, and that was it. So it made my journey a little bit not that bad because at least I have somebody there.
A treasure at the end.
Yeah, exactly. So my story is that of a lot happened. So yeah, it's just
that's some intense events that you've been through, and obviously you've traveled a long way to get to where you are now. I was hoping one of the things that struck me in our conversations and in your voicemails was your sense of humor. I was hoping you could tell us a few funny stories.
Yeah. So I can remember one time when I was trying to raise money for my lawyer. So people said, "Oh, you love kids, so you can actually try babysitting." I'm like, "Okay, how do I go about it?" They were like, "I should just print flyers." I printed flyers. I went to the mall. I'm like, "Oh, I can babysit my." So people were like, "You don't go to people and just be like, oh, give me your kids, let me babysit you. You are gonna scare them away. Just do the flyer." Because back home, that's what we do. So just do the flyer and people understand. So when I did it, only one person came and all that. But the funny thing is, when I started cleaning people's houses, I can wear my rag like a worn-out t-shirt with torn trouser and just tie my hair, then go, because it was an apartment, and clean houses. Then when I'm done, I'll just come back home, take a shower, because I have an elderly lady I go to take care of. I take the bus to go take care of. Then one day, a few people, I just finished cleaning a guy's apartment and a lady's apartment too. So they saw me in the elevator, both of them. They were like, "Excuse me, do I know you from somewhere?" I said, "Yeah, oh, I just cleaned your house." They were like, "Whoa, you cleaned up so fast. Are you sure you're the one you were wearing? Turn out. You look good. Are you seriously the one?" I said, "Yeah." Yeah, the lady that cleaned the house. Because I couldn't believe that this same person that wore turn-out clothes and all that had to changed, transformed again. Because I can't wear rag out to go take care of an elderly person,
Right.
So that one was a bit, so I had to.
So this glamorous woman comes out.
Exactly. I'm like, I gotta make money. I'm not here to do fashion parade. In as much as I clean houses, I still gotta look good. So
that's right. You have such a good heart.
So that's just the most.
Enyika, we actually have another call coming in. If you're down to take it.
Oh, yeah.
Scooter, you can put that through.
Yeah, hey, buddy, this is Mr. Bowers.
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Bowers?
Hey, Mr. Bowers.
Long time no see.
Hey, not too bad, guys. Glad I was able to call in. I'm quite impressed with Enyika here.
Hey.
Yeah,
she's impressive.
Great. We're enjoying the conversation.
Yeah, well, the reason I called in is because as someone who generates most of their income performing, the art of private investigation, I'm required to have, not just one, but two things in common with you, Enyika.
Yeah.
And that's
geez,
that I'm
okay.
a writer and I'm a listener.
Both of you are writers and listeners. Oh, okay.
Mr. Bowers, I don't remember what my two qualifications were. You didn't tell me about this
Sitting
role.
here, wondering, eating a dish of veal palm, thinking, what makes a good listener? And I'll take my answer off the air. Hey, you guys go slow.
All right, see you, Mr. Bowers.
Yeah. I don't know if he called you at the end there, Misty, but what
I
makes a
guess
good
he's
listener?
got a point. What makes a good listener?
Yeah, yeah. Mr. Bowers is a man of few words. I think he just wants to come on, say his quick thing, and then get on to finishing his veal parm.
Yeah, he gets. Well, I think he gets nervous when he calls in. He does better when he's in studio.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he just asked Enyika. He had asked you what makes a good listener. I think, right, Sam?
Yeah. That's what I got.
Okay. To me, what makes you a good listener is being able to connect with the other person. Like I always tell people, when you talk to people, they can actually feel you from the other side of the phone. Even regardless, they can't see you, but like the aura, like they just know that, okay, this person is negative, has negative vibes, or this person has positive. You would just know. So to me, when I listen. I immediately just tune off. Like I don't want it to be all about me, or I just connect to the person. I'll practically be doing a two-way call, talking to myself, being me and being the person on the other side of the call, talking to me.
Yeah,
So
that's just using empathy.
Exactly. Right. You just have to, that's just the way I work. Like for me to listen and connect to you and be able to know, oh yeah, I can relate. So like they taught us, you're listening, you can't just bring in your own stuff going on and be like, oh yeah, the same thing happened to me the other day. Immediately you say that you've already started talking about yourself. Now is now about you. So it should be 80% of the person and 20% of you. You just keep your feelings to yourself and just focus on the person. So yeah, that's.
Hey, Enyika, how good on average are Americans when it comes to listening? I bet we're pretty bad.
No, not that bad though.
You can be honest.
Okay. That's one thing. No, that's one thing here. When I got here, I was able to relate with a lot of you, like a lot, like how polite or how are you doing? But back home is all about everybody's angry. Like back home in Africa, before you talk to anybody, be like, oh, sorry. Before you say hi, you say sorry because the country made everybody angry. We're just naturally angry. Everybody's just angry.
Agos. And she's telling the truth. Yes. They are always angry.
Yeah, exactly. Most Africans is because you will see that we had to change the mentality because we've been here and we saw the way things are done here. So we had to just change everything. We dropped it off and had to just adapt to the ways here. But back home, because of the system, the government, everything, no light, no water, nothing. So by default,
oppression for hundreds of years.
Yes, exactly. No job, nothing. So by default, they're just angry people. So when I got here, I saw it wasn't like that. Everybody polite. Hey, are you okay? Oh, bless your heart. Hi. But back home, everybody, you won't see smiley faces. Why should we smile? Because nothing is moving. So everybody's just angry. If you smile, people will be like, oh yeah, you have light. That's why you're smiling. You've eaten today. That's why you're smiling. So it's different.
Aww.
Yeah. So nobody has time to listen to you. But here, people actually listen. So yeah, this is the truth. People actually listen to you here. People actually connect to you. Yeah.
That's surprising to me. Like because it's America has been pretty easy to make fun of in the past. I don't know how long that trope has been going on for, buddy, but
quite a while.
I don't think that. Yeah, because I would figure that if we're fat, stupid, and what else? You might as well just add like obnoxiously bad at listening to that list.
Yeah, I mean,
it's judging from where I came.
It's
I think
the.
you guys are pretty good.
Yeah, well, thank you,
Yeah.
and yeah, thank you. I think we are gluttonous, but
we're pretty gluttonous.
Right.
No.
We don't even have any idea.
I'm not gluttonous.
Through. We have no clue. I can't wait to. What's the name of the book? Oh, you tell us again what it's going to be.
Excuse my African.
Excuse my African. That's
yeah,
right.
I love that name.
Yeah.
I do too. It's so good. So good. You're so intelligent. I'm excited. I can't wait to have a copy.
Oh, hang on. I think looks like we're getting another call coming in. Scooter, can you patch that through?
Hiya, buddy. Percy here.
Hey, what's going on? The prodigal son comes home. What's going on, my friend?
Yeah, not
Percy,
too much.
it's been a while.
I heard Waylon on the line with you before, and I figured I'd give it a shot and buzz in.
Yeah, I'm glad you did, man.
Yeah, I think you were hearing Mr. Bowers before, but Percy, long time no talk.
Yeah, hiya, Sam. Hey, I know I apologized to Buddy, but I gotta make amends with you too. Sorry for my behavior the last few months.
Oh, it's all over, man. No worries. Water under the bridge. Just remember, you're on probation.
Yeah, tread lightly, Percy. Especially now that you've been hanging around with Waylon and getting up to some trouble. Do what you got to do, but be careful.
Yeah,
That's all
of course,
I'm saying.
guys. I would never again threaten the sanctity of WDUM airwaves.
Thanks.
Who am I on the line with again?
You're on with Enyika, who's our guest today, and Sam and Misty, who hosts Misty on the Beat.
I was wondering if the person who replaced me would be on tonight. Hiya, Misty. How you doing?
Hi, Percy, honey.
Hey, just wanted to mention I've been listening to your segments, and I wish I could find something bad to say about them, but I can't. You're a natural.
Oh, Percy.
That was nice of you, man. That was nice.
Airwaves hugs.
Thanks, Percy.
Yeah, although I'd be remiss to compare it to the glory days of the iron rock and roll. Hey, buddy?
Yep,
That's
Percy.
probably true.
Percy
Yeah.
hosted a music segment on the show for a very long time, and Percy, if things continue to go well, maybe we can do something again in the future. I know you talked about like movies and stuff in the past, but again, that's going to be in the future because we'll just take things slow and see how it goes. All right,
we got to play this by ear.
I do have a question for Enyika, though. Hey there, Enyika.
Okay.
As someone who identifies as a writer, what's your favorite place to write? For me, it's sitting down with a big hot cocoa at Starbucks. The juices just start flowing.
For me, is sitting outside or in the car.
Yeah, the car is very peaceful. I love just sitting in my truck. I could sit in my truck for 6 hours.
I'm not gonna lie. I bought an air mattress that fits in the back of my car.
Oh, that's cool. I love that. Have you spent a lot of nights in?
Yeah, it's my car apartment. So if I go somewhere and I have a little too much to drink, I just plug in my little air pump into the car and blow it up and go to bed.
Well, you that's happened. So that's ingenious, Misty. I've never heard of anyone doing that before. That you get.
I have shades. It's a 2-bedroom car apartment. I have a shade that goes between the front seat and the back seat so that people, if they want to, can recline the 2 front seats and sleep up in the front room. But the back room belongs to me.
Oh, I love that. Misty, what kind of car do you? Is it a truck? Is it like a flatbed that you can?
It's a Kia Fit, but once you get in it, it's so big. You would not believe how awesome it is.
Damn.
Oh, I bet that's got to have a ton of. Oh, that's Misty. That's awesome. I'm glad.
My kids love it. My kids during the summer they'll car apartment camp out, and they really love it. We have a projector, and we'll project movies and stuff like that for them. But
That's
yeah,
awesome. I got to get a projector.
Yeah, they're really good. They're cheaper than TVs. I don't have TVs in my house. Everybody has a projector. They're $70 and they last for like 5 years.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Percy, do you have anything else, buddy?
Yeah, well, I better get back to the casino. Waylon said if I net a few more grand, we can retire for the night. Okay, guys. Percy, out.
Have fun, man.
Sounds like Percy's still hanging out with Waylon.
Yeah.
And what is he? Something about a casino?
Yeah.
I guess
What is Waylon too busy for us?
Yeah. So Enyika, just to fill Enyika in, just because we've dropped a couple names. So we've had two. The Percy used to work for our studio, but he started to hang out with a very routine caller, a man by the name of Waylon Wilford Woods, who's quite a bit of a character. Misty has met him a couple of times, or at least spoken to him on the air. And so Waylon proved to be a bit of a bad, what do you call it, buddy? Bad bad influence.
No, he's just a bad influence. He's a guy that's always been a supporter of the show from the very beginning. A personal friend of mine for years. But he always supported what Sam and I did on the show creatively and sometimes financially, because he's, comes from a really wealthy family. But he's just the way he's been acting the last couple of years. He does a lot of drugs, unfortunately, more than what would just be, enough for a good time. But he's got the money. He consults with a doctor. According to him, he talks to a doctor like weekly, gets like chiropractic adjustments so that he can,
who are we to judge what his pain is,
because he's like huge, massive too. But I've gone to a chiropractor just to get, I have a degenerative disc. It helped me, but I can only imagine getting it like almost every day of the week, which is what he does.
Oh God, bless his. Wow. If he's listening, I hope that his pain is not so great.
So Enyika, what are your plans for the next step with the book?
Well, for now, I took a little break. I just I don't know why it's easier to do podcasts than writing a book.
It so is.
Yeah, people just drive towards that. People they're going paperless, like they just want to go in and do the podcast thing.
Well, especially if you like to clean, you could always like throw a Bluetooth in your ear and listen to podcasts that way.
Yeah, so I think that's why I paused, because somebody gave me the advice. The person was like, "You can do podcasts. Like people will love to listen anywhere they are."
They love this show.
Yeah, so.
And you have to come back. I mean, you have to have more. I'm sure there's more. Enough for a book.
Yeah, would you be willing to come back on, Enyika?
Yeah, I'll always come back.
So sorry to interrupt, folks. I think we've actually got another caller coming in. Wow, we got a ton tonight.
Right.
Scooter, can you patch that through?
Patch it through.
Greetings, buddy, Sam, and the rest of the WDUM gang. It's me, your friend Len.
What's going on, Len?
Len.
Len actually called in, I think, for the first time last week, right, Sam?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm loving that we're getting a couple new callers to the show instead of I mean, we love our frequent callers, but it's nice to that people are calling in again. That number you can find in the show notes, but it's for if anybody's listening now and wants to call in, write down the number for later. It's 1-609-874-9019. That's the WDUM main line. Len, thank you for calling in, man. What's going on?
Yes, imagine my surprise when I turned on the radio and I heard not only the voice of my two favorite show hosts, but also the voice of a mesmerizing lady.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, geez.
It's like you yourself a fan.
She is mesmerizing.
Anyaka,
really-
milady, my name is Len, guardian of the Mass Effect subreddits and lord of the Dragonborn Skyrim DLC. How fare thee, my lovely enchantress?
Good.
I'm a long-time listener
What's going
of
on, man?
WDUM, and they've had quite a number of guests, but the second I heard your voice tonight, wow, just wow. I must admit, I've heard of love at first sight, but never love at first sound.
Oh, jeez. Sorry,
I
Anya.
I agree.
Len, this isn't really the time or place to make us all uncomfortable.
I think we've all I think we can all say we've all fallen in love with Anyaka today.
Exactly. Yeah, it's 100%.
Len, was there any other reason why you called in, man?
Certainly. I was just in the mood to call you guys and tell you guys that, like Anyaka, I am also quite knowledgeable about Africa.
Cool.
I can honestly say I've seen Hotel Rwanda at least 3 times.
Come on.
Oh, jeez. Len, is this really why you decided to call today?
You just wanted to tell us that you happen to also like the country of Africa, or the continent?
Spoiler,
My
Denzel was
interests
not
are
really
vast, buddy. Quite vast. But I admit, I do have other reasons to call today. Anyaka, my lady, are you still on?
Yes.
You're lucky.
Anyaka, I would like to know if it would be possible that, perhaps if I was ever in the area, if you'd be interested in, a tutoring session or something, at a, coffee shop or whatever. Okay. I believe this is what we call playing hard to get.
Oh,
damn. Anything else, man?
Len.
Of a true lady. Fellas, I will now depart.
See you,
Until
man.
the next time, my sweet jewels.
Bye, Len.
As he tipped his fedora.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, wow, yeah, he just did a hit and run there. He asked Anyaka out. I think that was a good date.
Yeah, that was a date for sure.
Oh, geez. Well, Anyaka, he didn't give you a chance to respond before he got out of here. How do you feel? Maybe he might be listening still.
when he comes back, next show.
Show.
Next, there you go. That's a good way to get him.
All right, everybody. Well, Anyaka, thank you again for coming on the show today. I don't know what your availability is, but we'd love to have you come on again and share some more of your stories.
Oh yeah, I would love to.
It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And we do want you here. Don't let anybody ever think that you're not wanted here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, of course.
You call me, I'll come get them.
Of course, absolutely. Thank you for joining the show, and we will talk soon, Anyaka.
All right, thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Night.